All right, welcome you guys. So as you guys can see in the title, we've got some fantastic runners with me today. We're gonna be doing a DS3 all bosses no hit tutorial, which has been, it's been requested by so many people. But yeah, so we've got Vswed.
Hello, everyone.
And we got GeoEccentric as well.
Hello, how are you all doing?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing all bosses no hit tutorial. This is a really nice route, actually. It's pretty new, and something that most of you probably won't be familiar with. It's going to have all the updated strats, and it's very efficient and it's very safe. So I'm looking forward to doing this. We've got the insane notes feature on the side there, which is going to be really cool. And so yeah, people can follow along. There's also a notes command, and there should be a timer too. You can check that out. There's a paste bin to all the notes. And yeah, so we're gonna get started.
And the first thing that we should always take note of is the starting class. And if you're ever going to go for an efficient route, you always want to start with Spook. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so assassin start. We're gonna start with the young white branch as well, which is used so that we don't get shot at by the giant in settlement and also in cathedral, but that's not really important for this. And yeah, let's go.
That's it. Going to be picking up 12 Titanite shards. All 12. For a +3. And there is one of those pickups right after the Ashen Estus flask, which he also needs to grab.
Yeah, the Ashen Estus flask, actually, on this route, it's kind of, I think it's optional. You don't actually really need it, but it might be nice to have just to, like, get a refill on Estus. And yeah, like Vswed said, we're going to be picking up all 12 Titanite shards, so we're not going to buy any. Which means that we're going to, get a +3 like that. We're going to, save on some souls, which is actually very important on this route. Because as you... yeah, as you may guess, we're going to be doing Crystal Sage actually before Abyss Watchers. So Crystal Sage and Deacons will be killed before Abyss Watchers. So it's a really unique route in that way.
And you guys are going to see a really cool strat for us to save 20,000 souls at the start of the game as well.
Yeah, true. Brand new hot strat.
Hot off the press, dude. The ink is still drying. This is just pretty standard Gundyr stuff.
Additionally, doing Sage early will allow the DLC 1 running section to be out of the way early, and will give us some insane damage on Abyss Watchers, polishing that fight in time.
Yeah, that's like the beauty of this route, is getting DLC 1 out of the way really early. And this run is not only extremely efficient, it's very, very safe. Anyone that was wanting to look for an all bosses guide, this would probably be the one that a lot of people might favor towards.
Yeah, so that Gundyr fight right there, I mean, I'm doing a pretty specific strat there. Yeah, by the way, in case anyone's wondering, this is live. I am playing right now. This isn't pre-recorded. Yeah. So we're gonna be showing a lot of strats and showing a lot of variations that you could do. But yeah, for that Gundyr, you can do some specific kill like that, like doing, the hits off the start and timing the stagger, but you can kind of just fight him however you want. So yeah, here we're going to be buying some specific things, which you can see in the notes. It's very handy. So 2 bones, the dagger, the short sword, which we're going to be using on Vordt, and 3 bombs. You don't actually need to grab these, but it's kind of nice to have.
Bombs are always good.
Yeah.
Very nice in settlement.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's important to note here too that, a lot of this stuff is kind of optional. You don't need to get the broadsword here if you don't want to. If you preferred using, the dagger on Vordt or even the S-Stock, you could do that. It's just the short sword is kind of nice. Low stamina consumption.
I prefer the dagger, but it doesn't matter. It really
yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. So you could skip the short sword if you really wanted to.
You could even put it in the bombs. You like those for the settlement?
You could get 6 extra bombs with that short sword purchase. Where are we at? We're at high wall. So moving straight through high wall, you're not going to see a whole lot of out of the ordinary stuff, I guess.
Yeah, we're coming around here. We're picking up the lightning resin, which we'll use on a few spots in the run. Most importantly, we're using this on Vordt. Speeds up the fight significantly, of course. Pretty standard, no-hit stuff. Okay, here there are a few options of running through here, actually. You can run low. A lot of people go high. I guess I can show both.
Yeah, for sure. Show both.
So going up this way, you know, you aggro the dragon, but a lot of people find it safer because you're kind of going past less enemies all at once. You just roll through the door just like that. Not too complicated. You just need to make sure that you're paying attention to all the enemies' attacks and like you go to the right positioning. Hopefully I made a save file there so I can show going lower, which is kind of just like a faster way of doing it, but maybe it's a bit more risky.
The key to making that
oh yeah, go on. Gio.
Line through the middle consistent is that you take the same line and stamina management every time.
Yeah, and this save file is actually going to kind of mess with this, but that's okay. You'll see the idea.
Yep. Even when I take the high road, I even go to the far left, which is also an option. It's probably like the worst RNG, some of the worst you could get there.
Yeah, the spear guy attacking is generally considered bad right there. Usually he wouldn't, but you can see there, like you can survive basically any situation as long as you, you know, roll the right positioning, stuff like that.
It was a really good show of how bad that run can... Like, that was probably some of the worst RNG you could get. He had to dodge quite a few times. A lot of the time, you can just run through safely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So we picked up the bombs back there. We're also picking up some more bombs here. These will be nice throughout some certain spots in the runs, like in Cathedral. We're going to use one for one of the dogs. Yeah, and I guess we don't do this on this route, but you could actually trade in a black firebomb for a chunk if you're like missing one somewhere, but this route we won't. Also here, you can go straight, you can go right. It actually doesn't really matter. I guess, you know what, I'll go this way this time. It's a bit safer probably to go this way.
Yeah, I mean, with Spooka, there's a really nice line you can do right up the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can go either way. I'll show this way because, I don't know, I feel like most people probably
in my first
the other way.
In my first no-hit run, I used to walk around that corner with a broadsword, or with a
like
short sword, I remember. Yeah, and like creep by him, I remember.
Yeah, that's an option there too. We've got Spook, so we might as well use it.
Spook definitely presents its conveniences early on, multiple times in high wall.
Yes, it
You
really
can take the drop
speeds
without
up.
healing, and you can, when you run past those two knights, you've got Spook active, you can carry over from the drop. The sword knight will not even turn around.
Exactly, and that'll let you strafe the spear knight.
Yeah, so I just killed Emma. We kill her, of course, to get just an extra 1,000 souls early game, which is pretty nice. It's pretty nice to have.
Need the souls, dude.
Yeah, you gotta. The souls are actually very important on this run, like probably more so than most, at least early game, because like I said earlier, we are going to be fighting Sage before Abyss Watcher, so we want to make sure we're getting to that amount of dex that we need.
Until we get
So
through Sage,
unfortunately,
it's pretty tight.
Yeah, unfortunately, it means we got to sacrifice the old lady, but sometimes you got to make a sacrifice, dude.
She had it coming.
All right, so we got Vordt. Just use this is very standard Vordt.
Yeah, Vordt's one of those. You can do the dagger, you can do the straight sword, you could go get the broadsword if you really wanted, but I mean, that's a bit much.
Yeah, and the one benefit of short sword on this fight, like compared to something like the broadsword, it does less damage per hit. Whoops. It does less damage per hit, but you're gonna be able to get 6 R1s off per stamina bar.
And that hit him there because of the elevation of the steps. Old Vordt, dude.
Oh, that's actually really
and we're
unfortunate. I
getting
wanted to
phase
show the
two.
head stagger, but I'll show. I did make a save file there, of course. I make save files everywhere, so I'll show that head stagger because it is nice to get, and you can do that like literally with
yeah,
like any weapon. Yeah, I'll show it after. But I guess this is how you fight phase 2. Not that you should normally need this, but
no one should ever know this information.
nobody should ever know this. That's definitely true.
It can't hurt, but you shouldn't need it.
Yeah. And let me show that head stagger really fast because it is worth. It is worth doing in most cases. You just like make sure that you have no issues with any kind of phase 2 or staggering like that, which does happen with the short sword very often. Like if you're not counting your hits specifically.
Again, which is why I like the dagger. You can just go in; it doesn't matter. You're not going to stagger him, and the riposte does over half his health bar. It's crazy.
The short sword, the riposte is optional, but it can give you a little bit of a safety net if you're concerned about how much health he's got left over and whether or not you're going to be able to finish him in 1 stamina bar.
So Gino just applied a buff and canceled the end of the animation. Well, pretty much the whole animation.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
That's just fun stuff that we do sometimes.
You got to pay extra for that.
Yeah, this is not a tutorial.
That's tier 3
on how to do
only.
that.
Oh wait, we're not even. That's tier 3 in the future. Yeah.
That's the kind of content Gino puts on his OnlyFans.
All right, head stagger. When he's doing this frost breath, you just fully charge R2 to the head, and then you can riposte here. In that case, it would have been slower to do so, but yeah.
That's just Vordt. Not too much to be said about him.
Not too. Yeah, exactly. Pretty straightforward.
And I think this part is like from here on, chat. This chat, I want you guys to buckle in and get ready. Go grab your popcorn because this is where it all gets fun and exciting.
All right, lots of notes for this, but this is a long split.
Yeah, this is
lots of setup.
There's a lot of stuff going on here, guys. But it's all safe and really consistent.
Yeah.
Which is
okay,
nice.
so we're gonna start settlement. Since we've got spook, we can do a nice little like trick here. Normally you'd die from this fall with these stats, but we can just kind of drop down here like this. And we can pick up these skulls. You can actually pick up these skulls like without spook like this. Like you don't actually have to plunge them, but you can plunge them. Like it's totally
so
preference
many,
there. Yeah.
You can do whatever. It's just
Yeah,
Again,
and then we're also
here-
we're gonna do the black firebomb on the door. You said you want to explain this one? Why do we do this in the first place?
We do this to save a skull. That's the most important thing. Is we need to save a skull. We need all the skulls possible for this run in the most important places. But for this lineup, it's actually like when I do this, I kind of just wing it every time because I'm used to throwing firebombs. But there's definitely setups that I've seen people use. I don't know if you use a setup or not, Gino.
Not really, but yeah, like so. There's the 3 dogs behind this door, and you're gonna want to either skull them or firebomb them. And I actually, I think you actually might be able to get away with using a skull on this route. So it's not as important, but it's a nice way to save a skull, and you can line this up with keyboard, or just like
Straight line,
whatever
with
you
controller.
want. Really. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Usually, just throw it from this line though.
Yeah, my cue is for whenever the gate starts opening. That's when I throw.
Yeah,
but it's
Same. This door can be particularly frustrating, as I'm sure most people know.
easiest way to deal with them is just bait them out.
Yep.
Bait them and roll in. You can bait them out and run past both of them if you're comfortable with their spacing from each other and their moves, but it's going to be a little safe. It's good to kill at least the first one.
Yeah.
Alternatively, you can use fire bombs. But
Here you can go around the left or right side of the tree. It doesn't really matter. If you go on the left side, there's this guy who's running down. You're gonna have to dodge his attack. So it's just like there's no one you have to dodge if you go around the right side, but you can go around the left. It's slightly faster, I guess. We're gonna pick up the charcoal pine. We also got the bundles earlier, as you can see from the notes.
We're all safe. Well, it's all because we're saving souls. We need to pick up as many things as possible. And near the end of this running section here, we're going to be saving 20,000 early game souls, which is a lot. It's a lot of souls to save.
Yeah, so we're going to be picking up our second Titanite shard right here.
Is that only our second one?
Yep, only our second.
Oh my, we still have 10 more to
most
go
of them
with
are
that.
from Fahrenheit.
It's true. We do have a really cool Fahrenheit route through.
Yeah, so this guy we got to kill,
Grab
of
the
course. He's
sharp gem here.
dropping the sharp gem. Obviously required for the twin blades.
A fully charged R2 will flip them over. It's very important to note, actually. Fully charged R2 flips them. Or a running R2.
This guy just
this
bait
guy's
off.
still running. He had
Yeah,
some distance. He had some distance from Gino. If he's following right behind you, it's a good idea to do a quick little loop. You'll bait an attack from him, and then you'll stop him in his tracks for a bit, and then you'll be able to gain some distance on him again, making it more likely that you get the charging attack off the cliff.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do too. If you ever see an enemy running at you, that means their AI is queued up an attack that requires them being very, very close to you. So their AI will just do everything within its power to get as close to you as possible. So it'll just sprint at you endlessly. But if, like, you do a GeoEccentric and turn around and give him a little boop, he'll queue that attack up, letting you get some distance.
Yeah, so what I just did here... sorry, what I just did here was I did a little, like, skip that you can jump up here. If you can't, like, get that, it's just for a little bit of speed. You can just come up on this side, like the kind of intended way.
Yeah. There's even a somewhat faster and consistent way back a bit more. I've never actually done it. I've seen some people do it, though.
Yeah. Here I'm going to show some...
You can bait Aldrich off here.
Yeah, exactly.
For some extra souls, but this route shouldn't require it.
Yeah, so what ended up happening, because I was kind of going slowly back there, Aldrich decided he's going to chase, and this is actually interesting. Most of the time he won't chase, but what you can actually do, there's a few things. First of all, if... Oh my god. So I guess that happens, but what you can do if he's not a total moron is if you drink an Estus, he'll input read it and try to do a rolling attack at you. So, like, say you jump on this island, you realize he's chasing you. You can use an Estus and he'll start sprinting, and a lot of the time he'll just roll off the edge. Another thing you can do is when he goes into stance, so he's got the Flamberge, which has stance weapon art. When he's in stance and you do an attack, like, this is just it's a really small detail, but it's interesting. Once he's in stance and you do an attack, he will always do the weapon art. So, like, if he's right on the edge here and he's in stance, you can just, like, sit up there, do an attack, and he'll just bait himself off the edge every time.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah, so we're going to pick up all the branches here and the Ember and the Soul. The Archer guy already killed these guys, I believe.
Depending on the way you pick those items up, the order, you can get a null branch, is what I call it, where you pick up nothing and the item disappears. So sometimes you can get one branch lost. So you always want to make sure you pick the items up in the correct order. And even sometimes I feel like I've picked them up in the correct order and I've still lost a branch.
You make it through that door a little quicker. It's a good idea to roll through, as there will be a guy with a plow trying to ambush you, and rolling through the door will stagger him.
Yeah, so most runs Aldrich won't chase you, and there's no need to kill him. Like, he does drop some extra souls, I guess, but I wouldn't recommend, like, waiting to kill him. But what you can do if he does chase, you can either rest at the bonfire to get rid of him, or you can actually just pop into the Greatwood fight. If you walk to like about this staircase, it'll actually just send him home because the game thinks you're going to the boss room. So that's like a faster way of getting rid of Aldrich, and it's important because later in the level, if you didn't get rid of him, there's going to be a fog gate at one of the doors actually. So and then you just can't progress. So
yeah,
you're going to want to send him home somehow, and walking into that boss room is a good way of doing it.
Many resets early in my any % days forgetting to do that.
Oh my god, dude, same. That was my biggest one.
Yeah, so here we're going to just drop down on the side here. We do need this bonfire for Greatwood. We're not doing early Greatwood on this run. It's definitely possible. And it is consistent with the unupgraded short sword, but it's just the enemies you have to deal with. That's kind of a problem, so.
I did just consider there's a Titanite shard beside that guy that you could grab that we didn't route in.
Yeah, there is, but it's actually like unnecessary. It's a slower one to grab.
Yeah.
Overall. But
there's a backup one there if you guys ever wanted it.
Yeah, here, I guess sometimes enemies get caught here. It's really only a problem when it's the dog that gets caught. You can just firebomb from up there. If it's the evangelist, you can rest at that bonfire to get rid of them, and then most of the time they'll get unstuck. So that's an option. When it's this guy, I mean, you can just kind of sprint past. So that's what we're going to do.
Very safe here to do this.
Yeah, you actually never have to roll the pot guys either, like when they throw it. And we're going to do this little parkour thing too.
This is really nice because it de-aggroes everyone for us.
Yep. Yeah, so we're just going to sit up here and kind of just wait for these guys to kind of just either get up top or just de-aggro. And now they're like, this guy's still aggroed, but he's not really a threat because he's at the top kind of shelf there, so it's not a problem.
And the reason that we want to de-aggro him is because you guys are going to see some interesting little soul save. I was going to say time save, but I guess it's a soul save.
Very important to open the store.
Got to open the door first. Very important. Very important. Yes.
See why in about 40 seconds.
Everyone in chat's like, how do you even get down here? What the fuck?
Yeah, so there
We're
is a
gonna fire.
rat. Yeah, we're gonna firebomb him.
2 firebombs will kill him.
I did have good luck pathing behind him, but
You
first
could
firebombing
probably,
would always
yeah.
be the safer route.
Yeah, you can probably just sprint by him with Spook, but I mean, if he's in a
The
good
ones
spot.
coming out of the hole are never a threat.
Mhm. And well, chat. She had it coming.
Forgive me.
She's not actually
Ex-
blind, and she was just lying and baiting money from people because they felt bad for her.
Yeah, Vswed's
I had
right.
to ban her.
Yeah. So don't actually feel bad.
Make sure you do wait to actually pick her stuff up. It's not going to put it in your inventory right away, so it's very important that you do pick up her drops. It's good. Actually, the second drop was the tower key. She saved 20,000 souls on by picking it up from her rather than buying it from Shrine Maid.
So we're going to cast Spook. Very important to cast Spook before the door so Egon can't get you by doing this drop with Spook. And all that is, that's really easy. All he did there was just literally sprint at the elevator and do a plunge attack. Anyone can do this.
Yep.
There's no skill involved.
Exactly. Just make sure you have Spook. And also,
That's
if you can help it, do the plunge as late as possible. That way, there's like some weird glitch that can happen with the onion guy getting stuck in his dialogue. If you like kind of wait as long as you can to plunge, then it'll have a less chance of happening. So
That glitch is wild.
yeah, and this guy, you kind of just need to know his moveset. There is an option to actually branch around the right side of the area here. A lot of people probably have seen people do that.
I mean,
And you can do that. It's kind of unnecessary, but yeah, that's an option. So you just literally, if you want to do that, you just branch like at the start of the room and just hug the right side of the wall the whole way,
And
or you can just dodge past him.
You can just literally go 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock on your controller, and you'll strafe them like every time.
One thing we won't show on this route, but you could do, is you could actually grab that bonfire there, and if you wanted to get Flynn's Ring for later in the run and or Chloranthy, you could go back from that bonfire and go back through that route when you want to kill Greatwood.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But we're not going to be getting Flynn's or Chloranthy, even though that's a really cool pickup route for like going. If you were going to, that'd be a perfect time to do it. So we're getting Tight Knight here. I used to get this Tight Knight on my original no-hit route, I remember.
Yeah, so that's the third Tight Knight charge so far. You're following the notes there.
Dude, those notes are handy.
Yeah, no
Really
need to grab
enjoy-
this bonfire up here. But you can, like, if you're, I guess
If
you
you
can if
want.
you're not comfortable getting this middle bonfire, but it is, like, totally safe to do so.
And we won't be setting up RTSR for Sage as we won't have it yet, so
Yep.
might as well start from a closer point.
Tight
Fourth
Knight
Tight
here.
Knight shard. Yeah, there's actually a number of ways you can do this. Like, you can go, like, throw a firebomb at that dog. I find it easiest to just run around this path. And yeah, this is just what I find easiest. You just need to make sure to not aggro
cool.
the dog when you're running across here.
I bait the tree guys away because
Yeah,
sometimes
you can bait the tree guys away to avoid this exact situation. It's usually they won't catch up to you, but
and this line is perfect here. Sometimes if the crab attacks, it's good to bait out an attack. But that RNG was fine for him just to pick the shield up right away. But
yeah,
that's
it's
something you have
important-
to look out for.
Yeah, exactly. And it's important to note there too, when you're picking up those blossoms, if the crab is right behind you, you need to like kind of roll immediately after you pick it up. Because he could hit you. Also, you got to watch out for this mushroom guy. Actually, he's got like a
he's got
really
a-
fast attack.
He's
So-
got an insta charge, dude. You guys
Yeah,
want
yeah,
you
he
talk
basically
about
does.
Oceiros' insta charge. You guys got to see this mushroom's insta charge one day.
Exactly.
Your
My
audio-
man's got speed.
Your audio is your best friend through that whole running.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen to what's behind you.
Yep, that's true. All right, here's our coal that lets us infuse the twin blades, which we also just picked up, by the way.
Just realized that wasn't in the notes, but that's okay. You would realize very quickly if you missed the twin blades. It's
Yeah,
very
I think
important.
that's a very important one to.
Yeah. Yeah, if you jump there and run on this path, you never have to roll what the crab does, which is kind of nice. So
Yeah.
Can do that.
You're gonna
Aggro
spook
both
off
these
this.
guys. Yeah, you could spook here.
There's a lot of things you can do here. This is another one of those. There's no real perfect, like, because the RNG is never the same with what these guys do. But you just want to be safe. You know, you could spook drop off this ladder if you really wanted, but we don't really need to. And there is a really cool swamp route we're gonna do here to pick up the rest of the Titanite. So get your notes, chat. Get your notes ready.
Or just do the notes command and
Or just do the
have
notes
it all there for you.
But everyone has such nice notes emotes.
Yeah, here the only thing you want to make sure is you don't go too far because there is that elder grew right there. So just don't like quick step way out there. Like try to hug the rock. Obviously, by the way, that like running into those like fires does not count as a hit, even though it staggers you and damages you because it's considered environmental. So you don't have to worry about accidentally like touching that or something.
But like it's actually you don't have to really protrude too far out for him to aggro. You gotta really kind of be close to that fire.
You wanna hug.
It does not take much.
That fire is actually harder to run into by accident than it looks too.
And
you
what
have to
Gino's-
cut inward right after you get around the corner.
Yeah.
What he's doing here is he's waiting for this elder grew. I call them dinosaurs, but what he's waiting for, he's waiting for him to path in a safe area. So like he's moving towards him right now, and he's probably gonna wait here until he turns back around and then use the tree as a divider to kind of make sure he doesn't get line of sight. And we're gonna pick up some more Titanite here safely.
One thing you might see occasionally is that he spins in circles several times.
Yep.
You just kind of have to be patient and wait for him to correct his pathing. Put your camera on him while that happens, and he'll eventually correct course.
Yeah, and like you see there, I like waited for a little bit for him to be turned around. You don't actually like you don't actually have to wait there. Like as long as you see him walking the other way, it's safe to go. So like whatever timing that may be, like just because I waited for a full cycle there, like I could have actually gone right away, but I just wanted to show that. So you get another Titanite there, by the way.
What's that put us at 6 or 5?
7.
7. Oh god.
Yep, and then we get our 8th here.
Moving right along, dude.
Make sure to come back around this side of the bridge. If you go to the other side, you can aggro the Gru on
That's
right
a
in
good
the
point,
forest there.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
There
right
he
there.
is.
You just to be safe.
Mindful.
Gonna hit this bonfire.
We'll be homewarding to it.
Yeah, and you could rest here if you wanted to. It's not necessary, but you can just to like refill on your health, get rid of the poison stuff. But we're gonna throw the skull here for the walking across this bridge. Make sure you don't walk like in between your skull and the enemies, because they're gonna be attacking the skull, so you don't want to get caught in the crossfire. Then we hit our second flame. We're gonna do some insane Skyrim tier rock climbing in a second.
Get your horses out, dude.
Yeah, so all you do to get up on this rock is like you just
Left, right.
yeah, just like literally just up on that like little slope here. You just get up, and then we're gonna come all the way around here. It doesn't matter if you drop earlier. It's not a big deal. Like you don't have to worry about that. You'll just take a bit more damage. We have this Titanite shard.
You definitely want to take a very large arc, and this line here he's taken is very important because he's not aggroing the Gru to his right, and there's also a crawler to his left. That Gru right there will see you at pretty far distance.
If you do go around the near,
Yeah.
you go around the near side of that bonfire there, you do want to come pretty close to it, otherwise you'll aggro it.
Like, yeah, you just want to stay, like, around this line here. Like, inside this, basically, for this guy to not aggro. Yeah, so what we're going to do here is walk around here, make sure this guy starts pathing. We're going to pick up these poisons for later in the run.
Yep.
We can use them on Gael if you really want to. And I do have a spook cast right now, so I'm going to go ahead and just cast spook here. You don't need it. Like, you can just kind of, like, slow walk behind them, but it's always nice to have spook sometimes. I feel like it's just, like, less
Just-
pressure. I don't know. Just to
You can
slow
Something to
walk.
think about.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Autopilot a little more.
Normally, what people do here is Homeward Bone, but we're going to do something a little more fancy.
Yeah, I do have spook, so I could just actually just sprint past here. And we're going to drop down here. And then we are at 10 Titanite shards at the moment, and there's very conveniently 2 more here, so. Is it the 11th? And then, yeah, 12th is right here.
Very safe pickups, too.
Yep, and now we can head back to Firelink. Now, you could get a +4 if you really wanted to, and like deviate from this route a little bit by going on top of Farron Keep and get those 2 lizards that drop 1 large shard each. And you could do that, but it's not really necessary. But if you were worried about the damage for some reason, like for Sage, then you could do that. But yeah, it's just unnecessary.
I don't think it'll actually change the fight at all, that being said.
Yeah, probably not. It's going to be very similar.
It
So
is
we're going to get the
very
ashes.
similar.
I guess Arena's ashes don't really do anything for us, but get that stupid dialogue out of the way. And we're going to buy 6 skulls, and I believe that's it.
Ashen one.
Yeah, and so you might notice too, since we started Assassin, we only have 14 decks, and the Twin Blades require 16 to wield. So it's like a little bit, it's just something to think about. It's a couple more souls that you need to make sure you have. Like, you need to make sure you're at least getting to 16 decks, which we're easily going to be getting to on this. So we get our +3, and then we're going to sharp infuse it.
Upgrade before you infuse. It'll be a little bit cheaper.
That's a good point, yeah.
Is
I
that
forgot
true?
to sell these souls.
Upgrade before you infuse, and it's cheaper?
Yep, yeah, the upgrades...
That's wild. How
yeah,
did
the
I not know
upgrades
that?
cost less. They cost less if the weapon's not infused.
That's my mind right now is melting. Like, that's crazy. How did I not know that?
Okay, so you guys may remember from this run, actually Hodrick died earlier, so we got, I believe he drops like 5k or something, or is it 4k? It's something, but normally you'd be getting to around 20 to 21 decks here. I'm not gonna, I'll just stay at 21 just to show the strats,
Yep.
but
21.
yeah, that's why we got to 22 here, by the way. So 20 or 21 is totally fine here.
Farewell.
And you're going to have souls left over at this point just because of the buffer zone. Like Gino said, there's a few NPCs that are kind of like RNG deaths, like Hodrick, like who else? The 2 NPCs right before Farron Swamp. Those guys can die or not die, and that'll fluctuate your soul count.
Yep. I think they both didn't die on this one, right? Or I can't remember.
I can't remember.
They
I
didn't.
never like pay
They didn't
attention
die.
to that.
Yeah, we're
didn't
going to
die.
Sage. We should
are
have 2
going to
bundles
Sage.
here. And there's 2 ways of doing Sage with this setup. 2 ways. And I guess there's also 2 ways of getting there. You can go this way, so around the right, or you can go this way. I actually prefer to go this way. I just find it a bit safer, even though maybe it's a bit slower.
This way. I don't go this way. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you can go that way. It doesn't really matter. Maybe I should have shown both, but it's okay.
Sure.
This way
Tempedo's-
you just you do have to
on.
dodge this guy, I guess, going this way. So
You could, like, if you have fire bombs, you could firebomb.
you could firebomb him, but we are kind of limited. So yeah, you can. It doesn't really matter which way you go, I would say.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna go this way, you just want to dodge this guy. The other way, you would want to you basically just sprint straight the whole way.
Yeah,
And,
the other way is more
Yeah.
my cup of tea personally, but
Same here. Make sure if you go the other way, make sure you roll through that archway and that you recover a little bit of stamina before running across that bridge.
Yep.
So I noticed chat was asking about Sage teleports. Did you want to ping in chat there, Geo, what you
I
mentioned
will.
earlier? Thank
will.
you, sir. Thank you, Sir Harmony, for the question. Because we were gonna plug this for you guys during this part. Because no, we're not going to go in depth of all the crystal locations. The only ones we're probably going to talk about are the ones
got
that
timed
are
out from
relevant.
chat.
That's
From
that's not
posting a link.
ideal. That's not ideal.
I don't know if there's a permit come in.
Anyway, when
Come
I
on, chat.
get a permission for a link, there was a guide recently made that covers not only the phase 1, but the phase 2 and 3 Sage teleport locations in depth. Because
That
the
did
first
not
method
work
of fighting
totally.
Sage for this, we'll have to... Oh, it was identical. Okay, less than 30 seconds. Okay, in 30 seconds, I'll post it again.
There you go. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah,
Should be
I
good.
have to wait a little bit still because
Okay.
I posted it identically. Yeah, 30 seconds ago.
Okay. So yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead. Okay. So yeah, while that's happening, this part here. So we came around the side. We can just you can plunge this guy, but what I've started
jump
doing
over
recently is you just jump over him,
Yeah.
and then you roll to the side, and he just doesn't aggro. So it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's
It works on
consistent.
any
It's
run.
Very
So
consistent. Extremely consistent there. That'll happen like that every time. But I mean, you can plunge. But if you're low damage and you don't have the damage, then that's a money strat right there.
yeah, exactly.
Also, when I notice, a lot of people don't run at a straight line at Sage, and that's normally what you want to do right away. I know I see people like take their time on their approach, but if you just run in a straight line directly at Sage, it's a pretty easy way to get there safely without having to worry about any attacks. But you can explain what you're about to do as far as your hits before you want to.
Yeah.
Do the
So
fight,
as you guys can see in the notes, there's kind of two ways you can do Sage here. I'm just gonna make a save it here so I can show both, and it's down to preference. So if you're fine with parrying Sage, I'll show this first one. So basically, what you're gonna want to do is do 4 L1s with a bundle, and then Sage is gonna port, and it's gonna still be in phase 1. So it actually doesn't you don't need to know specifically which spot Sage is gonna spawn in, but it's nice to know, I guess. And then you're gonna parry, and then basically just kill from there. And then the other strat is more reliant on knowing the crystals. You would need to know the phase 2 spawns from this quadrant. And yeah, we're not going to go into depth on that. Geo did post a video on some crystal reading guide, so you can check that out if you're interested. But yeah, I'll show both. I think I just made a save there, hopefully. So this one I'll show the parry. So you're going to want to bundle 4 L1s. Perfectly at 1,000 damage.
If Sage opens with that attack, it always fails, by the way.
Yeah, and so now we're simply just going to wait for this. We're going to parry it. Make sure you bundle. And that should just be 4 L1s kill here.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you do want to save a bundle, you could parry in 2 L1s on the first attack. However, we have plenty of bundles budgeted in, so you really don't need to do that.
And now what Gino's going to show you guys now is the melee version without parries. And the melee version requires knowing a second location of crystals, which in my opinion, the phase 2 crystals are really easy from this spot that he's going to be in.
Yeah, this is the way that I prefer. I would prefer to do it on this kind of run.
Yeah.
Flash sword. 4 hits. So yeah, we're still in phase 1. It's important to note, I think phase 2 starts around 1100 HP, maybe a little bit less. But we're gonna bundle here, just 4 more hits. And this is where you would need to know this spawn.
So now, since those 2 crystals popped up over on the left here, it means he's gonna be right in front of the fog wall for him.
And yeah, so those are the 2 options for Sage. I guess the one thing to note on this one, and it shouldn't be a problem, but Sage can sometimes stagger, which, obviously in phase 2 you have all the clones that are spawning, and if Sage staggers enough times, the clones could be a problem, but with this amount of damage, it actually just shouldn't matter at all, so it's just, if Sage starts staggering, it shouldn't really make a huge difference. Yeah, those are the 2 Sage options that you could do. Both equally good. Just whether you want to parry or not, basically.
We got a question about how the spawn works. Again, the guide that posted above will go into very great detail about that. It'll show you other quadrants that we didn't deal with in that fight either. It was phase 2 and 3. You get to phase 3, there's actually more crystals and the patterns change.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, they're always deterministic based on the patterns, and Sage will tend to spawn in the quadrant opposite. If you're in the middle of the arena, and it could be any quadrant, generally you want to avoid sending him down when you're in the middle. But yes, refer to the guide for more in-depth information on that.
Yeah, so what I just did here, I ran past this evangelist, and normally I would just dodge an attack, but one thing that some people do is you land on that middle platform, and you can throw a bomb and wait a second for the evangelist to start up this attack, and then you can safely run by without having to dodge. So
I do that.
Yeah, that's just a preference thing. It doesn't matter which one you do, really. So here we're going to make sure we got our black fire bombs equipped.
And 1 skull ready.
Yep.
Because we do not have the damage needed to kill a dog with a black fire bomb. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a black fire bomb, dodge an arrow that's incoming, and then throw a skull for the remainder of the dog's aggro. Once we get around this bend, right here, he's going to turn around, perfect angle. Threw it right along the same angle as the wall was going, and that dog will never, ever follow you. It won't teleport here. I've done this exact strat probably 100 times without it messing up once. But yeah, it's really good. We're gonna save some time here as well and not go into the cathedral's main door. Don't really need to open that door. It's just, I don't know. It's there, but you never really need to open it.
Yeah, and then we're gonna get that bonfire from like the other side. So,
Yeah. There's just a
so
lot
we
of
can avoid
doors
that.
there.
There are a lot of doors.
And there's a DLC entrance. There's 4 technically. It's insane.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the pretty standard kind of cathedral run through here. 2 skulls are needed for this. Oh yeah, next page.
Yeah. Also, sprinting by that guy is 100% safe. He has no attack that will ever hit you as long as you're sprinting.
Yeah, you have to dodge that Grave Warden's attack. Every attack you can actually strafe there, so.
Mm-hmm. A big part for what he's about to do here, when I personally do this running section, is that you got to really use the audio and listen for arrows being shot at this upcoming part. Take note here that this first guy he ran by didn't change his position. That means that this part's going to be a lot more consistent than normal. And right now he's using his audio to listen to see if there's any incoming arrows.
Another thing you can do is jog up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
rampart,
for all.
and the second arrow will come by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to watch out for the thrall there. That's why I'm looking back, in case he does a throw dart or whatever, or a blow dart. You can throw that skull in there and then throw the next skull out here. Oh, and so yeah, that happened because I just like waiting to show the thrall there. Like normally he would not drop down like that.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah, just because I was waiting.
He wouldn't be there normally.
Yeah, you want to do an L1 on that guy in the corner, and then you should be able to hit this door, and nobody should be chasing you. And yeah, that location that I threw the first skull back there, that'll make that's a very consistent spot to throw the skull. Like sometimes the Grave Warden can aggro early and stuff, and going to that spot just makes it better.
If that Grave Warden aggro's early, I feel sometimes if he starts sprinting at me, I'll dodge an attack then throw in a skull, but that's like very innovative and situational.
Yeah, so here a lot of people like to kill the giant, which you can do. So you can just throw a firebomb at him and just kind of fight him up here. And like you would want to sit behind this this line here, and when he doesn't attack, you go in afterwards. We're not going to do that. It's completely unnecessary. So
completely unnecessary, dude.
Yeah. But what it does avoid is like sometimes you have to dodge the poop throw that he does, and he'll likely do it up here. But that's all it avoids basically. And then maybe some like weird timing with the thrall that's coming up. But yeah, it's just unnecessary. So what we're going to do here though is we're going to spook. Hopefully waiting there didn't mess up this guy's timing. It kind of did. He's a bit further up than normal. It did. Like the guy up there. That's why we cast spook here actually, because normally you're going to go right past him. And he won't aggro since you're spooked. But yeah.
You might even go into his line of sight if you're a little quick. But waiting up there got him a lot further. Spooking won't aggro him. He can actually drop down if he does see you and chase you all the way through this area.
Yeah, but it's not like actually too big of a deal. Like most of the time it's just fine. So this is the poop throw. You're gonna want to quick step this. And if you got to make sure you have FP when you're quick stepping. You could actually drink a flask there too before you like after you cast that spook, if you really wanted to.
That's a good point actually. You could do that.
Or yeah, and if you're out of FP, of course quick step has no iframes when you have no FP, so you would just roll, and that's totally fine.
It's another thing. Before you cast that spook and enter the giant's room to get Lloyd's, you want to make sure you have that dagger ready to go. Gino menued it on really fast, but ideally you want to have that ready to go.
I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, so now we hit the bonfire. We're gonna just rest here, reset some enemy positions, and now we're gonna go get Rosaria. So that was the benefit of killing Arena and getting this key. Normally you'd have to buy this from the Handmaiden and Shrine for 20,000 souls. But yeah, since we killed her, we get to save all those. And yeah, like this route is a bit short on souls. Like obviously if we didn't do that, we wouldn't have 20k right now, so we couldn't actually go and get patches. But yeah, so you can just run past this guy like that.
Mm-hmm.
Spook up here also is optional. You don't need to cast a spook here. Like you will survive. But I'm gonna do it, and you can just do it anyways. This guy's a friendly deacon, of course.
Let's
cast a spook here.
Since resting at that bonfire, there will be thralls that can climb over. If you wait around here for whatever reason, so you want to not waste any time and just
you want to
straight. You want to be fast. Yeah. I'm gonna strafe this crossbow guy. Just jump off here and roll down here, and that's it basically. Now we just got to
Yeah.
open the door, and it's kind of a weird thing in the game. Like, just to the untrained eye, it's like, okay, why are you opening this door and just like immediately boning back and not getting the bonfire? But opening this door actually is one of the flags for patches to be able to spawn in Firelink Shrine. The one that's more commonly used in no hit is just like passing through the Irithyll Gate, like where you need the small doll. But yeah, so literally just opening this door, and we can just bone out, and patches will be able to be spawned in the tower in Firelink.
And killing Arena at the start gives us the 20k that we need to open this door saved.
Yeah, 20k save.
Normally you'd have to buy it.
Yep.
Give me 1 second.
Ashen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so here,
go on.
there's like
More.
a weird thing here with like the fog gates. Like you can see there's actually a fog gate that's there. If you go into, like, see this outer circle here around the main bonfire? If you go into it, the fog gates kind of reappear. So just to save some time, you just don't want to go back into it, basically.
Also, I wanted to say earlier, during that running section up in the rafters on the way to Rosario's door, all those running sections he did and all those enemies that you might not be familiar with that he ran by, you can literally, as long as you have a full stamina bar and just sprint, there's nothing that can happen. You will never need to roll or do anything. Just have full stamina and run.
Here I'll mention, there are 3 bones right there that you could pick up. Or you can do the tree jump, or you can actually just go up the tower and drop down like the intended way. Or you could just buy 3. I guess I'll just do the jump here.
You might as well just grab them during
Just do the jump.
right there.
Also, if you wanted to alter this route and you wanted to actually trade in firebombs, like a black firebomb, for example, for a chunk at Pickle Pea, this is where you would do that. This would be the most efficient point to actually do that. And so yeah, for people who don't know, if you trade in a firebomb to Pickle Pea, you get a large heart, and if it's a black firebomb, you'll get a chunk. So this is where you would do that. You would just go trade, and you'd come back here and go up the tower.
Normally, this is where you'd have to buy the key to open this tower, but
Yep.
we got 1 spare from killing her early.
Yeah, and I do say in the notes to buy 3 bones, but again, you can buy them, or you can pick up the ones that I just picked up, and which means I don't have to buy them. So yeah, you gotta wait a second up this elevator. You can't really bone much earlier than I just did it right there, but if you bone like right when you hit the elevator, patches actually won't spawn. You'll have to go back and do it again. So
There's like
that's
a
something
little,
to note.
there's like a little crease in the wall that I always like press the bone button whenever
Yeah,
I see
same.
it.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna buy 14 skulls here.
On the nose, 14,
Yep,
not
14.
1 extra.
Well, you can buy extra. Extra is good to have in case like something goes wrong on Deacons, especially because yeah, the benefit of getting patches before Deacons is of course that we get a mostly free phase 1. Because that's the hardest part of Deacons is the phase 1. You get hit by like a stray fireball or something. It's very convenient to have skulls, and I would recommend getting patches before Deacons on any run, so you can use 5 skulls in phase 1. It makes it so much simpler. Not to mention a lot faster. Like you can be more aggressive while not taking any risk at all. So yeah, we're gonna buy 2 bundles here as well.
Ashen.
Yeah, see, if you wanted with the extra souls you would have by this point, you can go. You could get some more skulls or something. Like yeah, like kind of minimum 14, I would say. For all the skull throws that we are gonna do.
Extras are always good to have. Gael, are you all right, dude?
He's totally not all right.
I don't think he's okay, chat.
I don't think so at all. Not one bit.
So we're going to DLC now, and you guys might be wondering why. And that's because we need to be getting some large Titanite.
And this is one of the cornerstones of the run, is that you can get a +5 rather than a +4 early, and get one of the hardest running sections in all bosses out of it.
Which I think is a really like big thing for people that like stray away from all bosses is its length of how difficult and long and like maybe even tedious it is. With this route, this is getting one of the hardest running sections out of the way. You know, how fast is this run? You know, like less than an hour in and it's gone, right? Like it's nice.
Yeah.
And
So
we have
yeah,
skulls.
30
yeah,
minutes.
for sure.
About 30 minutes in.
Yep, 30
Right,
minutes.
we've been
now.
like stopping and talking a bit.
I
You'd be
do
about
like
30
it,
here.
yeah.
Yeah,
What I
30
mean,
minutes
it's
in,
only
or
30
possibly
minutes.
less if you're fast.
Exactly. And we've been showing multiple things and talking and all that. So
Yeah, and
you
so
can
this
really-
path right here is actually really important. You want to come right here and bait out this frost attack. She'll do it every
very
time.
important.
But
Yep.
just so that you don't get hit while picking up this large shard. Because, yeah, if you run
that-
straight to it, you're going to get hit every time.
That pathing is
So,
very important, but it's also very consistent.
you can also grab this firebomb here as well.
Those are a really good pickup. Extra black fire bombs are always nice.
Make sure you get that attack from the tree. If you wander a little farther away, the tree might do the poke. You still can get away with the pickup, but just keep an eye out. That could get you.
Just gotta make sure the line's good.
Yeah, so that's the first large shard that we grabbed up there. This is the second here, so you just stand behind this lizard. It's a
Yeet.
rare lizard that drops a large shard. Not too many of them in the game.
Yeah, really that way. Straight line here with stamina will always dodge every situation. No need to roll ever. And now we're gonna do scream skip. No, I'm just joking. We're not gonna do scream
Well,
skip.
you could, if you were comfortable with it, you could. I mean, it saves a skull. It's not really important to do.
You could show it real quick. I mean, there's just
well,
a rock.
if I
Save a
actually
skull,
hit
that's
it,
true.
You just like jump here and jump left. So this is scream skip.
Yeah.
Like you
There you go.
actually skip having to go past the screamers. That's why it's called scream skip. But that's the ladder that we're gonna climb up in a second. You can do this, and it looks great and stuff until you realize that if you fail in the wrong way, you just die. Like you just
Yeah.
fall down. Like I'll try. I don't know if I'll
You
be able
almost
to,
died, honestly.
like. I don't know, but yeah, you can die if you do this wrong.
Oh.
I'm actively trying to die, but I'm not. But
Trying
yeah,
to
like
do
if
it
you
poorly.
like, I don't know, if you like took too long to jump here,
There,
like, this is
yeah,
death,
that-
right?
that's it
Like you
right
just
there.
die. So
Yeah,
Just
that's
really eager to get to Gravetender, aren't you?
yeah, if only.
Should have casted spook, dude.
Yeah, so that you can do this, but just note like you can die, and if you're going for pure speed, then for sure do it. It's very consistent. If you, I mean,
Yeah.
if you do it right every time, you're never gonna die. But
But
yeah,
we're not gonna
that
go
is an
that way.
option. But usually just safer to go down the lower way and listen to all the screamos, guys. And then what's the best that you troll your chat and your whoever's watching your run by putting
Make-
full
make
volume
10.
on.
Gotta put
Yeah,
it up to
volume
10.
10 split.
Every time, dude. Make sure you get good at menuing to the volume section of your control so that you can put 10,
Yeah, either volume 10 or volume 0.
depending on your chat.
But it's a crime to leave it at the same. You'll never get a run if you leave the volume the same.
True. You actually have to change it to something. Oh, a big thing to point out here is you never want to throw this skull at the bridge. And Gino does a smart thing by throwing it on the right to this rock. That's a good spot. If you throw it to the left and he runs near the bridge's arc, he'll teleport underneath the bridge. Sometimes
Yeah,
that
so-
guy can get in the
yeah.
way as well, which is unfortunate, but
Yeah, so what I just did there, in that case, I actually probably wouldn't have had to do it, but I just wanted to show it. Sometimes that bird dude can be like right at the ladder, and he's got like a melee attack that he can just like peck your feet. So you may need to kill him. Also, that skull I threw, it was fine, but maybe just a little bit further back. Okay, in this part you want to be fast because there's a rapier Corvian up here. So basically what you're going to do is there's sort of a rock I look at here. You just literally sprint up a bit to the right and you can just sprint up. You can jump as well.
I
But
jump.
yeah, see this guy's coming down, like just pay attention to this line that I'm running at. Just, you know, you can watch that over and over again. See that line? But yeah, see you just threw a knife at me there. You want to make sure you're fast there.
my rule is if I miss it twice, I go back and sit down at the bonfire.
Yeah, and the bonfire
Which
is
is, yeah.
in that building there too. So you can hit the bonfire and rest or
Rules them.
something, and there's no enemies around there, so you can just go and get it if you want. In case you're worried about missing.
And now we're going to go deal with everyone's favorite NPC.
Yeah, we
Favorite
got the soul
two-pack a
here.
It's a great soul.
Yep. 8K
Was
soul
it
right there.
8K? 8K? Yeah, 8K, dude.
Definitely grab that one.
Need the souls, dude. All right.
Two-pack a
Any
dares.
any stomach lackers, dude?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do an AI trick on Wilhelm. Oh, and he's actually he's doing this because I have the staff out, so it's actually probably a good idea to not. This doesn't count as a hit, by the way, but you might want to just take off the staff. He'll do that spell when there's a catalyst, like he sees a catalyst somewhere. But yeah, what you do is you stand in this patch of grass, and you kind of just dodge his attack. And he, you know, if he's one-handing his sword and jogging towards you, he'll do a double. But all the other cases, he can do like a jump attack or you know, sprinting attack, like he just did there. But yeah, so you're gonna want to catch him, get behind him here, and then you're gonna kick him down. And once he's down in this like little corner here, you can just stand here and do a jump attack, and he should fall and die. Basically, that's how you can deal with him. There's some branch strat you can do here that I don't even know anything about. But just
great.
Like, I don't know. Go look at go
precise.
search it up if you want.
Yeah. Anyway, and a thing to point out too is the way the AI breaks is the kind of the same way that the AI from, let's say, the Frost Knight kind of like retreats back to his default location. That's what he's taking advantage of and getting up in his face and pushing him.
Yeah, exactly. Like he goes past the point where like he's kind of, I guess, supposed to be, and he'll start to leash backwards.
Yeah.
And so
it's like his zone. Exactly.
Yeah, right. We're gonna come up here. You actually don't need to hit this bonfire for any reason, and I'm not going to. But you can if you want to rest or whatever, and then maybe if you're like lower on skulls or something. Yeah. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna wait. Yeah, this is actually very specific how you want to do this. So you're gonna wait for these guys to go past, and you can cast Spook just so they don't aggro.
Check this out, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna cast another Spook up here. Come up here, cast another Spook, and now you want to be fast here. So we're gonna run up. Make sure you don't get hit by that spear guy. You're gonna throw a skull up here.
Use the bell to guard against his arrows, like he did right there. That bell was to his left.
Now, like I said, you got to be fairly quick here. We want to get right down here, and the Spook should just wear off as we get here. And we're gonna stop right here. Nobody should be chasing you. As you see, that guy, he got up, but he's gonna de-aggro. Just because I guess he doesn't have line of sight. And since we are spooked, this guy doesn't aggro either. And there's normally wolves that path there. And I mean, there were, but you're going to wait for a second here. And these wolves are going to be out of sight. I can do this again to show. But yeah, you're going to wait for them to be out of sight.
That's one of the best things about waiting right there. Is doing this with a fewer amount of skulls. These wolves at the very beginning are undoubtedly the worst to try to dodge. The ones up ahead are not really too much of a problem.
Yeah. So now we're gonna throw all the skulls now, and you can actually do this safely without any skulls. It is actually safe, and I can show that if people are interested in saving a bunch of skulls. You could buy a lot less if you were gonna do it that way. But yeah, you're gonna want to throw these skulls kind of exactly where I'm doing it here and at the same timings. Then we're gonna come to this patch of grass, the second one, and throw just straight there. That means we only have to worry about this archer, because this guy's gonna be aggroed, and then we should be good to go. And we're gonna pick up the final two large shards here. And this guy, you know, you might want to like pay attention to what he's doing. He like switches to his battle axe early or something. I'm gonna show that section again.
Yeah, we
show
glossed over it. The wolves that he waited for, the wolves that he waited to path, the item he got was 2 large shards.
Very important.
Yeah, those are the 4th large shards, and those were the 6th that he just picked up now.
Yeah, and so 6, of course, allows us to get our +5, which is exactly like it's kind of the whole point of this route actually.
Right.
And it speeds it up quite a bit too, because this is like a mandatory section, of course, and so we're not really going out of our way in like Smoldering Lake to go like pick up some extra large shards or something.
And if anything does happen here, it's much earlier in the run than say after a completed any percent and after a completed optional.
That's what's good. 30 minutes in, chat. 30 minutes into your misery run instead of 2 hours, you know, or something.
Yeah, it's quite honestly like one of the scariest sections, like going into 0 hit. For sure. But yeah, I guess I'll show the no skull shred here, if I can. Yeah, see the wolves up there? I see them this time. They were there. You see how they're pathing across? And so basically, you're just going to wait here for a second until they go to the right. And that, like, this should easily be enough time. And so now they're kind of out of sight. And their path, they just go to the right down there. So you actually don't even have to deal with them at all. Like when you do this. So pick up large shards. And yeah, I'll show the skullless how you would probably want to do this.
This is fun. Watch this. This is consistent.
So you're just going to hug the side here. It is consistent, but you need to know how to roll the wolves.
Because they have a weird backwards jump bite.
Yeah.
It's very janky. Nah, he was fine there.
And so what you're going to do on this is strafe the arrow and worry only about dodging the battle axe attack there.
Starting from the left and cutting right,
Exactly.
right as he approached the battle guy there, makes him strafe that arrow shot without even having to worry about it. And then all you
wanna
have
be
to do is dodge.
You want to be comfortable with that full lane. Though.
But yeah,
One thing that
I'm
could
gonna use-
happen is,
yeah.
is a dog or a wolf can follow you in here. That's just something to be cognizant of.
That's true. It can.
Yeah,
I've only
you
had
can
that
just
happen
keep
once.
going. Like if a wolf does that, like it's not the end of the world. And sometimes the wolf can even chase you all the way to the bonfire. I've had that happen. But yeah, you just dodge past them. It's not really a big deal. But yeah, I would probably like the safest way to do this is probably with skulls. Like it's probably the easiest. And that's why we bought so many skulls earlier. So like that's kind of accounted for. I'm gonna do it one more time just because this is important. This is important on your runs. Like you want to get consistent at this area. Is it like like we said earlier, it's one of the scariest running sections in the entire game.
This spookcast right here is important because it gives you enough time to reach the destination that he needs to reach.
Yeah,
Use that bell to his left.
Just enough time. So yeah, you want to be careful on your stamina. You don't want to be, you don't want to be slow.
He puts a tree in between himself and that guy as well there during that run.
Yeah, that might slow him down a bit. I'm actually not 100% sure, but...
Oh, I would do it too.
Must have been the wind.
Must have been the wind.
Yeah, so again, 2 large shards, and we'll show the skulls again here.
Yep.
Yeah, you have an option of if you want to save some skulls on your run, doing no skulls, and it's much more viable. Like we said earlier, like you're only going to be like 35 minutes into the run by this point. And so, like, resetting, like, if it's not perfectly consistent or you get hit, it's not actually a big deal. Like, you wouldn't want to come into this section with no skulls, 2.5 hours into a run, so.
Exactly.
And there we go. And you also notice I'm running down that slope, like, before the last 2 large charge there at sort of an angle so that I don't have to get, like, a hard landing and roll recover. It's not necessary, but it's probably something to, It just makes it makes you go a bit faster, so there's no chance at that bow guy like pulling out his axe and somehow hitting you really fast. It shouldn't happen anyways, but it's just some more insurance, I guess.
No reason not to try and do it. It's on your mind.
So we're gonna open this for like way later in the run when we come back to Gravetender.
That's gonna be a long ways away. One of the last bosses we do.
When we were prepping this yesterday, I did have the wolf chase me to the bonfire. Although I went down and pulled the lever and then I ran up, so... If you take this order instead of that, take this order instead of doing what I did, which I think what I did, if you drop down and pull the lever and then run to the bonfire, there are actually quite a few flies in the way, so I think I kind of discovered that's not the best idea.
Yeah, doing this order is pretty reasonable, and now we can just bone back. So what we're going to do here is, we're of course getting the lever for Friede. Dropping down, roll recover, you're immediately going to throw a skull and switch to your bones. You're going to hit this, and then you're just going to bone out right away, basically. You can come behind here, but we're going to go to Shrine, so you just should always have enough time there. Should be completely safe. Yep. Just got to make sure you're going fast enough, basically. You don't, like, hesitate, like, fumble around your inventory or something.
It's like the prince's bone. You gotta be
you gotta be fast.
Be ready. It's consistent. You just gotta be effective.
Okay, so now you can sell whatever I guess stuff you have.
Ashen.
Now, so we got our 6 large shards from the DLC, which is of course +5.
And now, chat, this is where it gets fun.
Welcome.
And we'll be +5, but a little bit lower dex than you would be going into Deacons on +4. But +5 at this dex, you'll find it would be probably equivalent to about +4 35-ish dex. So if you've done a route with that, you should expect about the same thing from Deacons.
Yeah, and like another benefit of this route, so of course we are going to Deacons right now. Like Deacons are one of the most annoying bosses on any run in DS3. What's super nice about this, we haven't killed Abyss Watchers yet, right? So you're getting to Deacons very early, and you're not gonna have a lot of stuff done before them. So like, say they do go wrong somehow, like it's not that big of a deal. You're getting them out of the way so early. Also, you might have noticed there, I could have gotten a 28 dex, And I think that's just like the Aldrich kill kind of coming back again. The extra souls I
Yeah.
got. So
There's
normally
always
you'd
gonna be
probably be
fluctuation.
around 27 here. And it shouldn't be that specific. Like, you know, if you're at 28, like don't worry about it. If you're at 26, don't worry about it. Like the level ups aren't that specific. Like there's no super specific strats in this run where you need a certain amount of damage, so
Which I think is really appealing as well.
yeah, here you can bait down this thrall and just kill him, or you can actually just like wait for these guys to path and then come around this way. It's all preference. Like it's maybe a bit faster to do that, or you can actually just firebomb him if you wanted to as well.
A lot of options.
Yeah, just quick step through here. Try to avoid the slugs. Like they're gonna be in like different spots, so try not to get like caught on them. We've got our bundles. We only need one bundle on this fight, so.
And Deacons is going to go about how you guys expect it to go. Pretty quickly.
Yeah, so skulls here are really nice, but what you have to make sure of is you're not running between your skull and like where you're going, basically, and like the big crowd of Deacons. Like you just don't want to get caught in any kind of crossfire. Here, I like on the opening, you can kind of just throw skull right away, or you can wait. It doesn't matter.
It really makes no
So yeah, we're
difference.
gonna throw a skull over there. Use the pillars, of course, to block any fire. We're gonna just try to get in. We have lots of time because we just use the skull, of course. And this is what makes like getting skulls and getting Rosaria before Deacons so useful on no hit. Is like, it's just you don't have to like circle around NASCAR style for 10 minutes waiting for the right openings, right? Like you just go in. Like
You can
also have
notice
to
how
pay
he's being
attention.
precise,
Yeah.
so he doesn't kill a lot
True,
of Deacons
yeah.
either.
Yeah, you just need
Especially
to make
helpful if
sure
you-
that all the skulls, or like all the Deacons are being aggro to skulls. And if some Deacons aren't aggro to skulls, you just like watch out for them. Make sure you're not going to get fireballed by them.
Especially helpful with this low of damage, and that you can still go for any of the Deacon types more easily than if you were to do the traditional looping them in circles without skulls.
Yep. Yeah, because the tall ones and the bigger ones take more than one hit to kill. So. Yeah, so you can bring them all the way around, and you can bring them all the way around, which is like the normal way, or you can actually just bring them to here. I just was waiting for the switch there. You can bring them halfway, and this is like totally fine to do as well. Like since we have so much damage, like you don't actually need to worry about bringing them all the way around, but you can if you're more comfortable with that. So
I'm a big fan of pulling them towards one of the back corners of the coffin, and the reason being is that you have a shorter sprint up to the entourage in phase 2.
oh,
Gives you time
I
to
don't know
recover
how to
some
count
stamina.
apparently.
I was like, where are you going?
That's actually annoying. I just wasted my bundle, dude.
That's what I was like, wait, what are you doing, dude? I was like,
Maybe it doesn't
Should
matter,
be
though.
alright.
But yeah, normally you want to bundle on the
Should be
Archdeacon, of course.
Going
I'll
from
just-
here,
I'll
you
just
have
use this. It's fine.
That was
a
fine.
shorter sprint,
Yeah.
shorter sprint up here.
So what you're
More
gonna want
time
to
to
do
throw
is
your
skull
skull.
behind. Yeah, skull behind, and then it should be 7 hits here. 3, 4.
Stamina. Circle around so he doesn't poke. Oh yeah, we're chilling.
If you hit
Yeah,
all your
yeah.
L1s, you can actually L1, R1, L1 at the end as well. You don't have to recover quite as much stamina.
True. Yeah, that's
done a little
another
quicker,
thing you
but
can do. Yep,
It's
and
safe,
so like
safe to go 7.
yeah, like Deacons with skulls. Like I can't stress enough how much easier it is on runs to have skulls in phase 1. Yeah, +5, only 7 hits. You can get away with 1 skull every time. I'm just gonna come by an extra bundle because I accidentally used that. But normally, yeah, you're not gonna level up here or anything. It's unnecessary.
I'd use those
Going-
Aldrich souls on something.
Straight to
True.
the swamp now.
Yep. We already set up Abyss Watchers earlier. We ran through all of Fair and Keep, so we can just go straight there.
And Abyss Watchers is going to go pretty well here with the damage we're about to do to them. Remember, we're +5 right now.
With
And we have
Lloyd's.
Lloyd's Ring.
Yeah.
With Lloyd's chat. Oh my god. And a buff. We don't actually even need a buff.
Yeah, buffing.
I don't
Yeah,
even-
buffing's actually useless on this.
It doesn't
There's no
change
point.
anything.
All right, so on this part, I've been recently like sprinting through here.
Super consistent.
Yeah, super consistent. You can also spook before you do this, which might make it a bit better. Actually, let's just do it.
Why not? You have it.
You can do this without spook too.
This
Just with
line is
these guys
very
would aggro
particular.
sooner, so you just have to watch out for their attack.
And what he does here is he gets close enough to this Gru that's going to stand up to bait out a close range attack. That's the worst one he has. That's like the only one that he chases you with. The reason he does that, though, is because the Gru has attack where he'll chase you into the end of time until he gets close enough to do it. And that's to avoid that situation.
This is actually surprisingly consistent in terms of not getting follows to the door.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's
very
really
consistent
nice.
somehow. Yep. Okay, so this fight, there was a recently discovered strat where you can sit in the back side of the arena where the kind of the coffin is, and actually not have the other two watchers even spawn at all. So that is an option. It's you'd have to practice it a bit more probably. And I guess I can show it. I don't know, but you'll see our damage here in a second. Like it's like one backstab. The guy's already getting up. Gonna do
That's
your
half
Oh, this is an emergency. This is an emergency. I gotta help my friend immediately. Oh,
Look
hell
at
yeah.
this. It's the Black Market Abyss Watchers chat.
Yeah, so this is the best RNG. They immediately aggro, and this is like a wicked fast Abyss Watchers right there. Like if you could get that on your run, like that's. But yeah, it was of course RNG that the right, like the other Watcher went directly for red. It is RNG, but yeah, normally
You can make
just
it
the
more
worst kite
likely
around.
by pulling the first to the corner, but that can get a little sketchy. Kind of trap yourself with it
Same
too.
thing is going to happen in phase 2, guys. Look at this.
What you want to make
Absolutely
sure of
melted.
is like when you're going for the mid-air hit, anybody?
Yeah, you might as well. Hey, we're gaming.
When you're going for this R2, you want to step a bit to the right before you go for it, just so that the angle is right on the Abyss Watcher.
That's actually
Right,
a really
so-
important
yeah,
tip
it's
that I
very
see a lot of people not do when they do the charged R2. You want to take maybe a step, and when he says a step, he means a step, like one step to the right, and then
Yes.
charge R2.
If he is ever facing you after the charge R2, do not go for the L1 up.
Exactly. Like that's why you want to step to the right, because it changes the angle on him enough where he shouldn't ever be facing you when you want to go for that L1.
Yeah,
And the problem is when he is facing you, there's a chance he just does a hyper arm attack basically. So, which would
That's the
just
coin
of
flip.
course go through your attack, and he'll just poise you in, and you would lose your run. So
Even if you get the L1, you can get like the windmill right afterwards too if you're not backing out.
all right, let me see if I can show this new strat here as well. Might as well just show it.
It's been great for my hitless speedruns. I love this.
Yeah. So
strat.
you just want to stay in this little box here.
yeah.
And you notice,
There's
like, so you saw last time one backstab was enough to wake up the right Watcher, but there it didn't wake him up, and it's because when you're in this spot fighting the Abyss Watcher, they just can't spawn. But as you can see, like, one problem could be that, you know,
Overlapping load zone to catacombs, 100%.
you got to deal with walls, and you got to deal with some stuff sometimes. So that's like the one, you know, downside of doing that. But what you could even do is, like, you know, bait him here for the first backstab, and then, you know, like leave that zone and then like not worry about it, and then you should have enough time for your next backstab and full punish before the other guy is going to get to you. So
Yep.
yeah, so you can do that. And so yeah, again, we're going to step a bit to the right. I actually went a bit early there, but yeah, see, that's what you don't want. That's actually a good example of what you don't want there. See how he was facing me? Like an L1 there that I went for was not safe because he was facing me, so he could have done a hyper armor attack or something.
There's that
Yeah.
perfect step to the right.
Yeah, so really easy fight with +5. Like it makes it so easy. Like so much.
We're gonna
damage.
go on cruise control almost a little bit here for a bit too with this +5.
Yep. So there you can pop your souls. You got some time because you have to wait, and then you're gonna immediately cast Spook after. You can do this way, or you can just like drop down to the right like the normal shortcut. But with Spook, it makes it faster. So you can this little like what I use is this little like thing
Yeah,
here.
to the left.
And
of
then
it
you're
is
just gonna
what I
like
use.
use an Estus. Like so you're gonna be sprinting. You're gonna use an Estus to slow down your character, and then you're just gonna do this.
You can walk
roll
off
down.
it too. Also works. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and pretty standard run through catacombs here. You can use black firebombs for these rats since we picked up some extras earlier. Also, if you for some reason wanted more dex, you actually could get the milk ring. It's not necessary. We're gonna have so much damage anyways, but if you wanted, I don't know, just a little bit more dex. And of course there also is the blood ring dropping down all the way over there, which you can pick up. It's not really necessary. Like it's definitely not necessary for a run, but if you want those extra 3 iframes on your rolls, you can go pick that up. And then, yeah, so you're going to just sit in this spot. Nobody should follow you. You're just going to throw firebombs. I like to use keyboard for this. Like, you're probably never going to miss if you're using keyboard to line up this stuff, so.
Oh, next page, by the way, on the notes.
Oh, my bad.
Thank you.
So here we're just going to come. This guy can either walk or stand still. If he stands still, you just kind of slow walk up the right side. If he does this, you just cast Spook and run past him. Or up the left side, sorry.
Just use the pillar to keep line of sight scuffed from him so he can't see you and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And if
so,
you don't have
you
Spook, again, you can just walk. Like, you don't even need Spook, but yeah. You could use the
you
weapon art.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You can use the stance to, like, walk slowly more easily.
Mm-hmm. Walnir is going to go about as quickly as he came here. I think it's, what is it, 243, I think?
Yeah, I think it's 243.
Yeah.
243? Which is really good.
Yeah, and here you can start out on, you know, the left or right side. But if you want to be faster, like I usually actually like to start on the left side for most runs. But here we can be really fast and get actually a kill. If you kill Wolnir while he's recovering, like after a bracelet is broken, he goes into like a big kind of stagger animation. If you kill him during that, he'll actually die way faster. So it's just like a little bit of a time save, and you'll see what I mean in a second. It's very easy to do with this amount of damage.
It's pretty cool looking too. Watch this, guys.
I thought my game just crashed there. Just insane.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Okay.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So 2 hits. And it should be 4 hits on this one. As you're gonna run in the inside. 1, 2. We'll just sit here.
The Walnir
Third
showcase.
hit, then the 4th hit, and then you can come in here, and it should be 3 hits. So
And
you
then
see
you
he'll
do
die,
quick death.
like see how he, instead of crawling backwards, he'll just like kind of disappear right
Evaporate
away.
into dust.
Yeah, so it's a
Literally
faster, it's a faster death animation. You can, and you can do Wolnir however you want. Like you can start on the left side. It's all kind of preference there. That is the fastest way to kill him though, basically.
Grab this bonfire for later.
Yeah, we need this bonfire for coming back for ODK later.
And like I said, we're just going to be moving right along. We're going to get the second ring or the third ring of the run, or are we still on the second ring? Is this going to be the second ring? Yeah, the second ring.
Second.
Yep. Yeah, Pi actually makes a good point. If for some reason it's taking 5 hits on Wolnir there, the reason is because if you hit him too quickly after the first, or like 5 hits on the second bracelet, if you hit him too quickly when he's recovering, it actually won't count as a hit towards the bracelet. So yeah, if it's 5 hits, that's why. So you can kind of just like wait a second after he's recovering.
Mm.
Yeah. So here, once you walk past this this rock little thing, this guy's gonna spawn. Now you can either like loop around and kill him this way. A little bit faster way of doing it is just like, so see how he spawned in. You can walk to this. This is the old way?
Snow patch right here.
Yeah,
the snow patch here.
This is the old school. There
You
you
can
go.
do that, and it should be, I believe, 4 hits or something. Yeah, 4 L1s should be fine.
Yeah, that's like
Snow
the
patch
OG
right
way.
in front of these 2 light posts.
Yep. You can pick up this bone too, I guess, if you want. Probably not necessary, but... In fact, it's for sure not necessary, but... Grabbed it anyways.
Everyone's favorite white branch, dude.
Yep, white branch time. Yeah, you're just gonna like come somewhere up here where these guys aggro, obviously, and you just branch. Just take this path, and it's slow and steady. And
again, the reason we killed the
here.
Bond of Beast was to get the ring that increases our damage for consecutive attacks.
Yeah. And it's actually like with the amount of stamina we're getting and some of the strats, for example, on Gravetender and the one you could do for Halflight, it is optional, but like Pontiff's right eye is going to be ramped up the whole time. So it actually is a decent amount of damage that you're going to be adding on. So it's certainly worth it on this run.
Quite a bit. But not Flynn's. Flynn's doesn't exist. You guys don't want Flynn's, trust me.
Well,
What is that?
yeah,
Heard of
like
that.
you could get Flynn's, but
No, you couldn't.
it's unnecessary.
It's not even there if you go there. It's just a corpse. It's already looted. Nothing there, though.
Yeah, here I'd like to just like walk along this like line here.
I've had
But
once
it's not like
them come at me, like the wraiths from behind right now by the fountain. Like they pathed really like far over and they saw me.
I've had that. I've had them not come after me, but I've had that close to happen. Like they were in a much funkier position than I was used to. So it might be a good idea just to keep an eye on. Maybe stop if you do see them. If you do stop a little short of where we are now, like say in the middle, it'd be fine. As long as you're not moving, they'll literally walk into you. Won't get aggro.
This guy's like lagging behind a bit too.
yeah, it happens sometimes.
So annoying when he does that.
It's funny to think people like might complain that this takes too long sitting in a branch. It's like it's probably faster to do this than it is to kill all the enemies.
It's definitely faster for the first part, getting through the original 3 nights. I mean, obviously you could get through this section faster, but if you want to reset a third of the time, probably not.
Mm-hmm. The second you get up off those staircase, you can just sprint. And if you go too far left here, he'll see you. It's really important just to stay on the line that you guys see here. If you go too far left, the Fire Witch will start doing trails.
There is an optional large shard down to the left here, and if you hug the wall, you can pick it up without a Pontiff Knight there aggroing, since you're waiting here anyway.
It's actually a good point.
Really don't
Let's go grab
need it, since we'll get Easterner's Ashes, but it is viable.
Gino's
for waiting
in, dude.
here.
Because you're waiting for the Knights to path anyway, so you might as well
Yeah,
go
you just don't
grab
want to
him.
aggro that guy there.
Yeah, he's scary.
Yeah. As long as you hug the wall a little bit.
Oh,
That guy, for some reason, that aggroed. I don't know what that was all about.
Okay, we're never getting.
I heard that too. Like I thought I heard a Pontiff.
Why
Knight.
did
I don't
he
know
go
where
there?
he came from.
Oh my god, he's insane. Why did he go there?
I wanted to pick up all these large shards. Yeah, maybe just like I think he did that because he heard me roll at like the perfect time. Where he was like,
Maybe?
Oh,
at his
Oh
closest
yeah,
point.
when you had to break the wall. Okay, maybe that's kind of
That's
interesting.
what I get
though.
for deviating, dude. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
you can
Have
you
you
can pick that up. Just like go faster than what I just did. Like do it sooner. Like don't delay and like, oh yeah, I guess I can grab that.
Yeah.
once you get there immediately, and you'll be good.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now
it
that
should
we
be fine.
don't have a lunatic chasing us, we're gonna. Oh, careful. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so yeah, normally nobody would be chasing you. You can pick up these other large shards here. There's one on the right. Just you know, if you want to save some souls later, again, it's like it's something that's not necessary. Like you can just not pick up any of these, but it'll save some souls.
Gotta-
And there's another one here.
Gotta save the souls, dude. The reason why he's saying we don't need to pick up large Titanite, chat, is because we're going to be getting the ashes that lets us purchase them.
Right. Yeah.
I think at this point we're only going to have to buy.
6?
Yeah, we're going to have to buy 3 more.
Yeah, I guess
You
so.
could pick up another one. You could pick up another one after Jon Snow.
Yeah, no, we are gonna pick that up actually.
Friends.
So it's only 2. You might as well
Important
pick it up.
You
It's
could
like right
also-
on the way.
You could also skip them if you wanted. If you want to just take a more direct line and buy stuff. By the time you get to the end of the run, the amount of souls you spend on those won't make a difference at all. But if you want to save a little bit in the mid game, it's and they're on your way. Why not?
Here you can
And I
jump
think-
over that railing, or you could just like run and like you can just like run down the staircase and just like dodge those guys. It doesn't really matter which one. I like jumping because you don't even have to cross them at all.
As long as you keep sprinting along the left side of that staircase, you don't have to dodge any of their attacks. Straight line sprinting.
Yeah, so we can get these blossoms. They're kind of nice.
Yeah, they are, especially for some later fights. And again, this is the nice part of the run where we just put our pedal to the metal and just go, 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 you know? Like, there's not really much. There's like 30 minutes of setup, which is really fast.
And we really don't need to go back to the shrine until Yhorm and Pontiff are dead. We go Yhorm first, and you can see our soul counter already climbing quite high. So what we have now is plenty manageable for both fights. We run a long section of the game and then go back to shrine, and we'll be able to do a huge level up and item purchase.
I need to point out why this strat here is consistent and why it works the way that knight pathed and routed. It's actually kind of precise. What he's done is he walks into the loading zone of the 2 wraiths to start their pathing. And once those 2 wraiths start their pathing, he casts Spook. And when those wraiths start their pathing, so does the witch down there at the bottom. And it lines up so well and so perfectly that he can just run by it at the perfect time without the witch seeing him. Sorry. But if you wait too long and try and do it, or if you do it too early, you'll get spotted. So yeah, that's just a nice little. It just lines up really well the way he did it there.
Yeah, how I normally like to do it is I just walk to I just sprint to the spot like kind of halfway down that staircase that I casted Spook. Like you can go watch it again if you want. And then yeah, that timing just seems to work out well.
Mm-hmm.
Here we're not going to kill any jailers as well. We're just going to cast Spook, and I come to this point here, just this pillar.
I would like to point out that if anyone is still killing jailers by the end of 2021, there's going to be a group of people going around and like taking away like your files of Dark Souls 3, and you're never going to be able to play again.
So like just gonna happen.
Yeah, so like by like 2022, you guys all have to be doing what we just did in this running section right here.
Yeah, and so
no more.
Yeah. How it works is like you can actually roll the jailer drains for a certain amount of time. Like if it's like more than 3 rolls, they'll start draining you. But what you do is you cast Spook so that the first guy doesn't aggro. It actually doesn't really matter for the bridge ones. Like you can do this without Spook if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, you'll just need to manage stamina properly, where you have those rolls at the end when they actually will start to drain. And then yeah, it's no problem.
Sometimes what I'll do on that third guy. Oh no, go on, Geo.
They shoot tiny little projectiles at you. Actually, one of the members of the community actually managed to get a short video of it with the hitbox viewer on. It's like shooting tiny little golf balls at you. I'll see if I can find that.
I can show that like literally right now if you want.
Do it.
True.
People always ask, and I have a command in my chat. But
yeah, I can show. Yeah, we might as well show it. It's interesting. Probably a lot of people haven't seen it.
Very interesting. Yeah. I would guess not many people have seen this.
Let's see here.
And this is why Gino's running the game and not Geo or myself, is because he's the 5-head behind Cheat Engine and all this stuff.
Well, I didn't create Cheat Engine, but I just...
No, you did. No,
I know how to use it.
You did.
Okay, so let's see.
He's just integrated into the code.
Knowing how this works really boosts your confidence on not getting drained.
So yeah, let's go ahead and check out one of these jailers. So check this out. See that projectile that they're shooting? That's the drain right there.
That projectile.
So now, like I'm getting hit by it, and that's what's happening. So these guys are just like rapid firing projectiles at you. And yeah.
Some of them are missing even as you just step to the side and your drain is slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
It's there.
Yeah, and so another thing about this too is that like when you're behind the jailers, like if you are killing them, when you're behind the jailers, of course they can't, the projectile comes from the front of them, so they can't actually drain you. So like if you are gonna kill them, you can just like you always just want to like stay behind them and yeah, you'll never get drained that way. So, but yeah, that's the projectile that you're rolling. Yeah.
The running section is so consistent.
It's important to note that even if they get knocked down, if you are in front of them, they can drain you from the ground.
True.
That's true. Yeah. And it's actually really annoying, but yeah, that's true. Okay. So from here, we're gonna do dungeon skip, and I'll show 2 ways of doing it. Like you can kind of like take your time and line it up, but I actually find it easier to just do this basically. So you just roll onto the thing and you just
backstep.
That's it.
Away you go.
And I find it much easier. Also, there's a thing with backsteps in this game too, like off of a ledge. If you're two-handing, there's a chance that you actually backstep less distance, which completely messes us up. Like I have lost runs to that. Like I'm two-handing, I go to backstep, it's actually, I think it's if you're one-handing maybe. I can't remember actually.
No,
I think
it's gotta be two.
It's
gotta be two.
It's two-handing, I think.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah, there's an instance where you can backstep a short amount of distance and you'll like come up short of this. So. That is important to know.
Actually, I remember when I was doing my fat roll hitless, backstepping obviously with fat roll was an issue. So what I had to do was a fully charged punch, and that
there's a lot of ways you can do it. A lot of ways you can do it for sure. But yeah, you can like take your time here and like line it up as well. Like just, you know, you can walk onto this platform here and probably it's easier to do this with keyboard as well, right? So just like kind of walk around and you're going to want to line up your back steps so you're going there and then you just, you know, back step. Oh, and I messed someone right now, but yeah, you would cast Spook, of course, after you line it up.
As someone who doesn't utilize keyboard much, I cannot tell you guys how much easier it makes a lot of things.
Yeah, keyboard's great for any sort of lining, any sort of like lining stuff up or free aims or anything like that. Like keyboard is far superior.
Yep. So that's our dungeon, and now we're going to go straight to Yhorm, and sadly we need to get the bonfire here, though.
If anybody wants a bunch of more options and in-depth explanation of Dungeon Skip, check out this video as well.
Geo with all the stuff.
Yeah, and you can see there too.
Like, yeah, it doesn't matter how scuffed it is. It always works.
Yeah, and like it's not super precise when you're like rolling onto it.
Yeah, the distance is really not important. You can be pretty far on that pillar. What I love about it best is it automatically lines your angle up for you. So there's no like, a lot of people, they get here hitless, the pressure's mounting, and they're trying to set up their angle very precisely. If you roll there, your angle is automatically set for you because you're going to be backstepping from where you rolled off, which is a safe position.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this gargoyle here, there's literally nothing he can ever do where you have to roll, as long as you're managing stamina properly. So basically what you can do is kind of just like sprint down and like he'll start like right past where I was waiting there. He'll like jump down and you just sprint. Like somehow like no attack will ever hit you. That's probably the scariest one because it like, you know.
It looks like it should hit you.
It looks like it's going to like stab you in the back of the head, but it doesn't. And I guess there is one attack where he doesn't go fly, where he just does like some long range poke, and you could just strafe to the right side of
very
that.
easily.
Like just go around to the right, and it's no problem.
His whole body has no hitbox. You can just walk around him as he's doing the attack.
Yeah. So we do need this bonfire, like Vswed said. Come back for Archdragon Peak later.
Kind of annoying the gargoyle can't launch himself off the edge. That'd be hilarious.
I would also like to point out too, if you for some reason, chat, want lightning resin at this point, you could have went and got it right then and there from Xanthus Ashes, but that's completely optional.
Yeah, like we're gonna pick that up later. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So how we're gonna do this part? This is how I like to do it. Like you can actually cast back Spook like earlier and like drop off the ladder and stuff, but once you get to the bottom of this ladder, you come like behind this tall rock and you're going to cast Spook again. And then how it works is like that'll collide with the wall. Then you're going to roll this one off the edge and then you just simply roll again. And since we have Spook, we're not going to die from this fall. And yeah, it makes it so easy to get down here. And there's no like memes of, you know, falling off of a ledge when you're trying to roll the fire orb and like getting clipped somehow. Okay, you have to watch out for this actually.
Oh, dude. Oh, the fireball. Oh, jeez.
That's why, yeah, I usually look back here just in case it happens. Like sometimes
that's where you got to make the joke, dude. Oh my god, the fireball's gonna kill him.
It's that first one. It's one of like the first set too. If the one farther back casts it, it takes her longer to turn, and you can typically outrun.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing I was gonna say about that drop that Gino just showed you guys too to get down that spot really quickly and easily is a lot of people I think get shy. They shy away to like fast strats or things that they're not used to and they don't have control over because they're not like comfortable with it because of how quick it is. But like a lot of the time, the more precise strats are the quick ones, and that's honestly one of them. You should definitely be doing that as opposed to like dodging the fire on your way down.
Yeah, like Yeah, exactly. Like sometimes people think they're like taking their time and they're being safer because they're going slower, but a lot of the time that's just not the case at all. Like that shot is so safe to do, it's so easy. But if you know, you can run into some issues sometimes if you're like trying to go slowly down those stairs, down that like big thing. So like that's what he's saying basically. Okay, so we're gonna do Yhorm here with the Storm Ruler, and a lot of people like to do Yhorm with Twin Blades at this point. And you could do that. Like what you would want to do is probably come back later since we're only +5. But the whole idea of doing Yhorm here is like, of course we use the Storm Ruler, which is a very fast kill. And then we're just going to get more souls for when we do that eventual shrine visit after Pontiff. So that's kind of the point of this. If you wanted, you can come do Yhorm later. With like plus, 10 Twin Blades if you wanted, or I guess +9 or something. If you did want to use the Twin Blades on him. But yeah, I guess like Stormruler is actually really, really good and it's really fast. But what I like to do if I'm using Stormruler here is just bring him out to the middle so that there's no like stair memes, and then you're just kind of sit under him and bait out this attack. And so when he does this attack, you get a fully charged, and you just we got a headshot in this case, but
what he's doing here too is every time he stands underneath Yhorm, Yhorm's forced to do 2 attacks. This one here, which is good, or he can stomp. And if he stomps, all we do is roll.
Yep.
And then dodge the upcoming follow-ups. And then
you haven't gotten your
right
Stormruler. You haven't gotten your Stormruler charge yet. Quite by the time he's doing an attack, just let off a little beforehand, and you have time to roll.
You can really
Stomp.
just headshot loop him though, really easily.
I always like to watch the
Wow.
hands too. The hand tell comes a little sooner than the foot tell for Yhorm Stomp. His left out the weapon.
Okay, well, there's
okay, that was
a
actually a
shoulder.
very insane fight right there.
yeah.
Like most of the
always
time
follow
that
that.
won't happen. But
He'll
I'm gonna
always
show this
follow
one
the
more
stomp
time,
right there
actually.
with that, and you can walk right under.
Sorry, what was it, Geo?
Oh, he'll always follow the stomp with that vertical, and you can walk right under him.
Yeah, to set it back up. Exactly. That's what I thought. Well, that's what he would have probably done if it wasn't the last hit. But
yeah, I'm just gonna show it one more time just to show like a more normal fight, because that was like a very good fight. I got like 4 headshots and stuff. And a headshot means like you hit his head and he goes into like a bigger stagger. And so you actually have time to charge up the Stormruler between it. Normally you wouldn't have that much time basically. And so one thing to note here is your stamina. Stamina is extremely important if you're gonna go for this strat. So yeah, we bait him out again. And I'll try to show it here. So the Stormruler puts you in a huge negative stamina. So this wasn't a headshot. You want to make sure you have stamina regenerating there in case you get a stomp. Like, before you start charging up the Stormruler again, you need to make sure that you have some stamina showing, basically.
Not
Just
only
so
will
that
put
you
you
will have
negative, but
stamina
you can see how slow it regenerates while you're charging too.
Yeah.
another thing
can
that
even,
he did. Oh yeah, go on. Ooh, why?
There's one
Unlock?
of the Stormruler memes. That's how you recover from it.
That was interesting though.
That typically
was
happens on
weird.
stairs, and that's
actually
why we.
yeah.
That's why we leave him
That's what
away
I was
from
literally
stairs.
just trying to say. I've been trying to say that the reason at the start of the fight he kited him down to the middle chat was to avoid elevation, and elevation can cause a bunch of terrible Yhorm situations, kind of like what we just saw there. Even though there wasn't any elevation, I'm not sure what happened. I think he was unlocked, is what the issue was. Another
So if
thing
you
to
do-
know. Oh yeah, go on. No, go on.
If you do find the stamina management to be a little bit tricky, what you can do, you can peach it a little bit, and you can alternate cycles between charging and then deliberately wait for another attack before you attack.
Yeah,
Just
that's
to be
hilarious.
sure
We
that
get
you've got
we
the
get like
timing.
we get an insane RNG fight as the first one, and then like that's like a 1 in like 1,000 fight right there.
I've
probably.
never,
like a far range stomp plus a middle of the arena Stormruler block. Like that's never gonna happen. Like that's never gonna happen.
Because that's what he does. He takes them down there to avoid that situation. But that was really interesting.
But yeah, okay. So we're just gonna come back to Shrine here. It's normally you just want to bone back to Distant Manor if you were doing like any percent, but because we had to hit that bonfire, we just have to go take the extra warp here. Yeah, that's a good example of how to survive like the worst possible RNG ever on Yhorm.
Yeah, really. That you walked underneath him when you got because Yhorm's like input reads whenever you have no stamina to attack as soon as possible, and Gina did a great job of somehow strafing it and getting underneath him.
That's another advantage of being that close and doing the fight that way versus kiting him back and forth across the.
Yeah, really.
Is that you can pull that off if you really need to.
Okay, so
Full
here,
stamina.
here there's the excrement covered ashes, which if you're gonna want to do like it's a strat later, which we'll cover. Oh, that guy just glitched into the ceiling.
Look out! Yeah, he can come. He can get. He can go all the way up, even to the left.
Those ashes right there, we're gonna come back later and pick them up. I guess if you wanted to, we'll show it later when we do Halflight. But if you wanted to do this now, you could. It's not a bad idea actually. You just need to you could do that if you wanted to. All right, now we have the infamous Pontiff Stairs. So this guy, you're gonna roll if he does like the lightning buff attack. You're gonna have to roll that one, but everything else you just sprint past him. And
you can come
people like
around
to
the
do-
right and spook as well.
True. People like to do this a bit differently. I like to walk to this grass and throw this first one. And then you're going to come under the second one, throw it at a slightly back angle. I think around that window.
That angle's important. That gives you distance here from those dogs to you coming up this way.
And then you have an optional skull here, which you can throw. I probably didn't need it in this case. Like, I know that dog was theirs because I was going to, like, a bit slower with the stamina regen for that skull. But, yeah, like, you can throw that extra skull there. It's called the Zoomer skull. You can throw that in case you're scared of a dog chasing. But if you do it, like, perfectly with your skull throws, then you shouldn't ever need that. But we did account for it in this route, so we did have the skull purchases. Also, this guy's got attacks. You just kind of have to learn it. He's got, like, a really fast one that he can do. And the way you tell what he's going to do is based on how he's running towards you.
Yep, that's exactly it.
And it takes some experience. So, like, if you're going to do a run, you got to just practice running past this guy over and over and over again. How many attacks does he have,
from
actually?
a distance.
He has four attacks.
One, including the buff.
Including the buff, yeah. The buff, you don't have to do anything, but yeah.
The one he'll typically do, he'll stop a distance from you and charge up an attack. That's the one you'll see most commonly. If he gets closer, then you would typically see that attack.
I hate the overhead.
It's going to be like
swipe.
an overhead.
Ugh,
if you run a
that one's
specific
worse.
line and roll at a time, you can typically outspace that one if you roll for the swipe.
The quick swipe's fine because he has to get really close to you. But anyway, what we're doing here, chat, is a pretty precise kill, but at the same time a pretty easy kill. All it's going to be is just a simple parry, riposte, 2 L1s, parry, riposte, and then just stamina management into damage output, basically. Pretty standard. 2 L1s here. He's gonna swap to his stamina shield there, very cheekily, if that's a word.
It's a good place to swap too.
It is a great place to swap.
Now, to get those 4 L1s more safely, you definitely want to unlock and kind of dead angle those last couple attacks like he did, because it will force Pontiff to turn for a little bit longer.
That's important information.
He won't go into the AoE as quick. If you're like hesitant with that, as you saw, there was plenty of leeway at the kill there. You could get away with R1 after the 3 L1s, or with this damage, you could even do the 3 L1s there. It's really up to you, but yeah, if you unlock and dead angle for those last ones, it helps a lot.
Yeah, and so that point about like switching to the shield and regenerating stamina, like the reason a Blossom is, it makes this fight really comfy to use a Blossom on it, because the stamina is important if you're going to go for all 4 L1s during the transition. I think with this amount of damage, right, we're at 27 dex with a +5. You can get away with like actually probably 3 hits there if you're worried about the stamina or something there, or getting caught by the AoE.
Yep.
You can probably get away with it since we have such high damage, but yeah, it's a good thing to practice, I would say. Yeah, it's a really nice fight with +5 actually. Lots of leeway.
During this running section here, we're going to be picking up the Easterner's Ashes, which lets us get the large Titanite shards. The rest of them.
Yeah, so we've got 1 skull remaining, which means we've got the right number of skulls, because we're going to use 1 here, and then we're going to finally go back to Shrine, kind of restock up on everything.
So 14 was the magic number. If you guys want any extra, go ahead.
Yeah, if you got the souls to buy some extra, sure.
We did have some extra souls, even with the Hodrick souls.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you want to deliberately bait Hodrick off on your route, then that'll just give you those consistently.
You can pick up this 4th shard here. Save a few
Need
souls.
the souls, dude. Need the souls.
How much is a large shard? 6k or something? Or is it less
large
than that?
shard's 4K. 4K.
Yeah, it's
4K.
4. So it's basically like picking up a 4k soul right there. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, I like to cast Spook. It's unnecessary. You don't technically need it, but it makes it so that less enemies aggro. It's a bit comfier with Spook. So you can literally just cast Spook there and just sprint through all this, and only 1 enemy's gonna aggro to you.
Watch this line he takes.
Up on the left, yeah. So you just jump off of here.
Perfect jump.
And you can just come back and look and see he does that second shot. It doesn't really matter. You just go behind the wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually so easy. It looks like it's scary, and I think a lot of like kind of runners who have always done the slow walk strat through there, like maybe there's no reason I'm gonna do that because it looks way scarier. But honestly, it's so easy to do. It's so consistent. I would say it's easier and safer than actually doing the slow walk strat. Doing that.
That's
probably.
what I'm going to come back and say what I said earlier is a lot of people or like runners that are shying away from fast strats. They just think they're not skilled enough, and a lot of the times these fast strats are a lot easier and more reliable. 100%, like a lot of the time.
Yeah, like it'll go the same way basically every time.
If for some reason you are still concerned about the archer down there, you can actually cast a second spook just past the knight before you jump in the corner, and the archer will not aggro you.
And there you go. That's a hot tip.
I forgot to split the notes again. Whoops. Yeah, large shard, our 9th large shard, and I guess in this case it's actually our 10th because we picked up that extra one in Irithyll, Easterner's Ashes, and now we go back to Shrine. We've got like a couple 100k. Very satisfying, just pumping levels.
We're gonna get some skulls, we're gonna get some bones, we're gonna get some more buffs. We're gonna pump probably like 40-20 dex stamina. And we're gonna get +6. Gino's just going through that, buying all the stuff really quick here, but that's pretty much all we're getting right now.
Yeah, so you just need to get to 6 here to make sure that you have enough for your +6, right? So 6 large shards, +6. Yeah, we're gonna buy just kind of an arbitrary number of bones here. You can, if you want to work at exactly how many you need, there should be enough for the rest of the run though. So there's that. And yeah, you can just, since we have so many souls here, it's not like super specific what you have to buy, but yeah, we can buy some, buffs here. And yeah, I think that's all I've got in the notes there.
Just some bundles. He got those dark resins, the human resins for Dancer.
Yep.
That's
Dancer
pretty
and
much
Cinder.
it. And again, some people might have Xanthus Ashes at this point, so at this point you could buy some more lightning if you have that, but again, it's not needed.
Yeah, and the same with this number of skulls. It's kind of just like some arbitrary number. It's like, it should just be
20,
enough
yeah.
for the rest of the run, so.
Plenty.
20 is a good number. I mean, you always come back, but this road's about being efficient, so.
Oh, I actually, I did have to buy 10 black firebombs there, and those firebombs, like, they're actually not necessary, but it's actually for Greatwood later. For, we're gonna fight Greatwood last on this run. And we'll mention later how the order of bosses actually doesn't matter too much, like past a certain point, but...
We'll cover that when we get there.
Yeah, so you can buy some black firebombs there for the Greatwood mobs, but... Yeah, now we're just gonna get
like having
some levels here.
I always like having some bombs in the back pocket, especially at the point in the run when the souls.
I just realized too, I don't actually have this in the notes. I'm just gonna add this really fast because it is important, probably.
What, a 40-20?
Yeah, 20 endurance. I'll add this to the other notes too. I guess I just forgot to add this in. Yeah, 40 dex, 20 endurance, roughly. Again, it's not like super...
That's the great thing about this run, Chad, is you don't need exact numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't spend too much time worrying about, okay, let me go check my notes to make sure exactly how much dex, like, Gino got in this run. Like, it's not that important. Like, if you're a bit short on endurance, if you're like 18 endurance or 17, it's totally fine.
17 is what gives you the 5th L1 on full stamina. Right?
The break point for an extra attack, I think so.
Yeah, so we got our +6 twin blades. We've got, 40 dexterity. You can roll that if you're like scared of that. Some like if you don't manage stamina properly or run on the wrong line, that doesn't like you'll get clipped by that. So you can just roll that. And there's another possibility with that spear guy. He could do a different. He's got one other attack he can do, which you would have to roll probably. You'll see it if you get experience running the game. There's also a little trick I'm gonna mention here. I guess.
Are you gonna do this? Okay.
I like this is like purely just like a little speed trick that you can do. I would not recommend doing it. I'll just show that it's possible, but what you do is you're gonna jump on this railing here, and then you just kind of roll off here, and you actually don't take damage. Like you'll notice I didn't cast Spook there or anything, and it's because there's certain spots in this area, similar to how it works in the second DLC, where when you land, you just don't take fall damage. So you can do this to save a bit of time. I wouldn't recommend doing this, but it is an option if you're trying to, go a bit faster or something.
It is scary though, kind of like it's not something you definitely want to this far into your run to go for, but it's there. You know, you can do that.
Yeah, you can also do it with Spook as well.
Yeah.
I would definitely not recommend doing it in your SO1 run without Spook and landing on the chest.
That would definitely be something that would be unfortunate for sure to happen to someone that will remain unnamed.
Can't imagine.
I couldn't either.
Yeah, and what Gio's talking about with the chest, like the chest with the Estus shard down there, that's like the spot where if you land on it, you do take fall damage. So that's what Spook will like negate in case that does happen. But I honestly find the biggest concern with doing that shred is not getting up on the railing and then having like
three fireballs,
the fireballs coming at you. So it's just, you know, it's not really worth doing, I would say. But you can if you want to.
We're just having fun. We're just showing you guys stuff.
I will say I do like the approach it gives you better, like the line you take on the fireballs getting over. I do like that better.
Yeah, the way I just ran that line is 100% consistent. The fireballs will like go over you and go past you and all that stuff. So
it kind of looked like that fat deacon hit the small deacon the way you rolled through him. It was funny. So this is Aldrich chat. He is doing Aldrich stuff.
Yeah, so we're looking to do around 16 to oh, and I actually got a port right there. Should be fine. But we're looking to do around 1600 to 1850 damage, like in that range, sort of. And I'll try to explain this as it's going on, but you don't really want Aldrich to teleport. Like if you notice this distance that I'm sitting, this is actually the perfect attack, which I'm going to go for. You can be at a certain distance, which will make Aldrich just not actually teleport away from you. Oh, that's unfortunate. I think I missed a blade, actually.
Yeah.
On that
He
attack,
could have got more damage.
To get that.
He could have got more damage in phase 1 if he wanted to. There was also a delay in bundling and all that, but yeah, you can land the +6 kill very consistently.
To kind of like go with what
in front of them and aim for
maybe you could do it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it again. Yeah.
Okay.
I hopefully made a save there.
Yeah, what Gino's doing too, again with the spacing, is Aldrich has 3 checks that he does at the end of each attack. The first check he'll do is he'll check to see where your character is relative to him, and if you're up close to Aldrich, like attacking him or something, he'll teleport. If you are at a distance, kind of like how Gino was, he'll continue to do melee attacks, and if you're too far away, he'll do magic attacks. So he kind of has like 3 ranges in which different situations will come and go.
Yeah, hopefully I made a save there. I'm actually... Okay, we got this save.
All right, that's fine. And you can also negate arrows, the attack arrows in phase 2 completely in phase 2 by following what I just said about the spacing, but also in phase 2 including never be in front of him. You have to be to his left or hit to his right, and he will never do arrows as long as you follow what I just said.
Wait, what are you talking about?
In phase 2, if you're to his left or to his right, whenever his animation currently ends, he'll never do arrows, because arrows are a front attack only.
Like, is that for when he does the port, like to phase 2, or is that just in general?
No, just in phase 2.
Well, yeah, like you can use the same principle that you were describing earlier. Like you don't like maybe that's true with that.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, it
like
is.
if you're just like at the distance like that we're talking about, which is approximately this distance, by the way. Just to show it, yeah, he like Aldrich won't do arrows anyways. Like you just sit in the phase 2 forever. Yeah, see, so I guess another thing to note, if you're like past 1700 damage and you like force an Aldrich support, like we were talking about, like if you go too close or something, then it actually will start phase 2. But yeah, you can go up to like 1850 damage. As long as you don't force an Aldrich teleport by going too close, you won't start phase 2. And so the whole idea is you kind of just wait for that big attack. And yeah, if you have enough, then you should be able to just get the kill. And if you don't, like I actually might be able to do 1 extra R1 here. I'll try it.
Oh yeah, you could for
Should
sure.
be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe the exact number, by the way.
And it's,
I believe the exact number.
Yeah, the pillar's kind of messing with me here. That's unfortunate, but yeah, no pillar would have easily gotten the kill here. Like, would have easily gotten it.
You just wait for that attack, and you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 attack, now he's dead.
Easy game, chat.
Yeah. Yeah, and most of the time you'll be able to get that phase 1 kill.
Yeah. And this port's going to take us straight to Dancer, and this is why we had our dark resin from earlier.
Yeah, and so yeah, we're also saving time. Like by taking this port, we are saving time, like not having to run through kind of high from Vordt's bonfire back to Dancer, right? So just a little bit of time save.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we already have the basin, of course.
Poor Emma.
Yeah. So Dancer, you just stay at her right foot, and when she's doing this like this sideways circle, you just always stay at her right foot, and
You'll be good.
like the whole point of doing that is actually it limits a lot of her moveset. Like a lot of the really difficult attacks she can do where she like spams, she just can't do them if you're at her right foot. So that's the whole point. And we can actually count to 7 on the spins and then go in.
Mm-hmm.
And there it is.
If you ever want to, for whatever reason, get less spins, be in front of her when she starts spinning, and she'll only do 3.
Yeah, Dancer is very very simple with twin blades in this setup, and you know you can really punish her a lot. You know, strafing the grab, get a bunch of hits in, get Pontiff's Eye ramped up. It's just it's a really nice fight with this setup actually, like very nice.
Got the unfortunate RNG at the start where she goes to your left, and you have to focus more on staying on her right leg. Goes the other way, you can get some idle hits in if you're careful and comfortable with the timing.
And now we're going to go do the barracks and run through to get all the chunks, grab the elevator. We're going to get RTSR for later.
Yep. And I guess RTSR is optional. It is optional if you don't want it. Also, this is where you can sort of deviate from this route. Just slightly. So we're going to go pick up all the chunks in barracks, but if you wanted to, you can actually go to the gardens and get the rest of the chunks. And if you combine that with also trading a black firebomb, which I mentioned like way earlier, when we went to get patches to get an additional chunk, you could actually just go straight to +9 here instead. But the whole point of this route is that we're actually going to get a +8, and then we're going to go do Oceiros, so.
We're trying to be a little more efficient as opposed to PG.
Here you can just sprint through, or you can actually just like sit in that corner and wait for these knights to path past. But it's, I mean, if you know how to dodge their attacks, you can just sprint through here. And they will never chase you like past this room unless you like are managing your stamina wrong or something.
Just be careful to pull them left a little bit first, where you can get yourself in trouble when you first start learning that run through. Is if you hang right the whole time, they can move toward you and actually pinch you against the wall.
Yeah,
but as long as you pull them left first, that won't happen.
You want to give yourself room, yeah.
Yeah, what I like to do here is throw Skull as well, just so you don't have to worry about like outspacing some guy's attack, or you just throw a Skull at the wall and then come kill these guys really easily. It's very nice.
Normally we don't have Skulls here, so you can really be abusive because most routes would be short on Skulls at this point.
Yep, so that's our second chunk. We're gonna just walk past this guy. You may have to dodge his attack depending on his positioning and what he does, but this is how I like to do this. There's a number of different ways you could do this. A lot of people like to skull on the stairs here. I do it that way and it's completely consistent, but yeah, you can skull before those archers and just do it that way if you really want to. Number of ways to get up that staircase, really. Yeah, and then we're gonna run up the armor as to not aggro the wyverns here.
To run up that armor, try starting at the right and going at a left angle slightly.
Yeah, I think you kind of want to run up like the leg, right? I can't.
Yeah,
I'm trying
it's
to
like right to left. It's like right to left.
Yeah, and so we have lots of skulls. You could use a skull here if you want to. You just like throw the skull in here.
Why not?
Just make sure to not like accidentally walk into some of these attacks or something.
If you throw it a little farther left, you might find that halberd guy attacks on the stairs as you're running past him. So just make sure to throw it far enough right.
Yeah.
I'll just be 1 second.
Yeah, and so what we're going to do here is right when we walk in this doorway, we're going to lob a skull into this room. And again, the skulls here we use are actually optional. It's consistent to run through here without them, but it's just kind of nice. And then when we get halfway up this staircase, we're going to throw the next skull in. And you don't even have to think about any of these enemies. You could even skull this knight up here as well, if you wanted to. Or you can just dodge past him. It's safe to dodge past any of his attacks, so... You know his moveset, and you could just do that. But yeah, you also could skull that guy. Like, he does go after skulls, so... And then you also want to make sure you're going fast enough here where he won't chase you. So just like, again, stamina management is important.
I find regenning right around the door very helpful.
Yeah. So yeah, we grabbed our TSR there. It is actually optional on this run. And, you know, it's probably faster without RTSR actually, but there's some setups later in the DLC where, like you can use RTSR whenever you want, but there's some setups, especially in the DLC, where it's just like right on the way, like RTSR setups. So yeah, we're gonna send this elevator down.
I actually used it for this plus of man down here, because if you drop off from where there's junk is and drop down there, you've got RTSR.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna try it. Hopefully I don't die. I trust you.
Yeah, I dropped off the shortest part of the roof.
RTSR is red tearstone ring, so it's basically like the opposite of Lloyd's almost, where, not the opposite, but when your HP is low, you get 20% more damage. 20% HP or lower, 20% more damage. Lloyd's is full HP, 10% more damage. So you survive this? I guess it looks about right. Nice. Yeah, and so what you can do here, 2 hits, I guess. 2 hits on this, and you want to stand in this corner because there's kind of like an AoE that happens when this Wyvern is dying. Yeah, so whenever that's done, you can, you know, grab a charcoal pine bundle and just kind of smack him.
With RTSR, I just waylaid into him and he died.
Yeah. Yeah, and so the reason we kill him is because he drops 2 guaranteed chunks, as you can see here. He can also drop an additional chunk. There is a chance he does that. He didn't in this case. I think he always drops at least one large shard. And that's also a 10k soul we just picked up, so we grab that. And then we're going to come get the last 2 chunks from this area down here. I mean, I guess there's more chunks in the area, but... Going to grab these 2, and that'll bring us to 8. And we'll just go back to Firelink to get our +8.
+8, dude. What's in-game time right now, Gino?
Probably quite a bit, because we've been going slow, but it's probably like, yeah, 134. It's not bad, I guess. Also, I guess really the level ups were in the wrong split, by the way. These level ups, or well, I guess we get to 50 dex, so I guess that's right. Yeah, here, we don't really need anything else. I guess we can sell these souls too. We're gonna get to like roughly 50 dex, and then once you get to 50 dex, you're gonna want to start going into endurance until 40.
Lots.
So
yeah, we need lots of endurance, chat.
Yeah, lots of endurance for some later strats. So that's kind of the general rule. Like, just so you don't have to like go back and look at your notes or something when you're doing the run, you're gonna want to get to 50 dex. Like once you're at 20 endurance, 50 dex, and then start going into endurance.
That's it from here on in.
Yep.
So we are +8 now with quite a bit of dexterity and endurance. So now we're gonna start seeing some decent numbers.
Yeah, and we're gonna head to Oceiros, and on this elevator that we have to go down, you could set up RTSR for Oceiros if you wanted to. Just like figure out, you know, when you have to drop off. So that is an option. It's kind of unnecessary, so we're just gonna cast Spook and drop down. There's a soul here. Casting Spook, and this guy just won't aggro, which is really nice, because he's kind of annoying. So.
Yeah, you'd have to hide behind the lever for him.
Yep.
Don't even worry. You'll have the enemies down in the swamp in a little bit better of a position as well. And this is one of the things it's one of the things this route mitigates too, is normally people would run through here, and then they would have to come back for Oceiros. Typically what happens is they pull the lever to bring the elevator back up, and then they bone out to reset these enemy positions. And it kind of just eliminates that hassle, so that you just run through here, one clean shot, don't even do the second half of it, and go immediately to Oceiros.
Mm-hmm. Thoughts on Oceiros?
Annoying. I like fighting him, but he's annoying, like, a little bit. But yeah, I picked up the 2 chunks there, as you may have noticed. And that puts us at our 10th chunk, I think, right? And so we only need 2 more, which we'll get later. You can, with this guy, you can run past him. But the concern is that he can catch you, since this is, of course, Dark Souls 3 and not Dark Souls 2. He can catch you after you exit the fog gate into, like, the Oceiros boss arena. And he's got some massive sword, right? Like look at the length of that sword. I mean, it's that guy, but it's the same sword. And like he'll catch you all the time. So yeah, what you can do here is like you can throw a bomb to bait him up these stairs, just so that you guarantee that it never happens. If you want to be fast, running past him is like mostly consistent, but you just need to watch out for that when you're entering the boss fog. So you can just chuck a bomb at him, and then when he's coming up the stairs here, we can just go here. And yeah, you also don't want to aggro that guy on the left, which I actually did. So you want to go a bit further right than I just did. But yeah, see, even with this, he's so fast. You always want to be spamming roll out of this fog gate for sure. But it should give you way more time though when you do that bait, even though he's still right there. Yeah, so you get out.
Epic opening. Oceiros almost got Gino there.
That was pretty close, Oceiros. Pretty close.
Yeah, and this is just a very standard Oceiros fight with very decent damage, actually. Like, not quite plus 10 Twin Blade with, like, 1,000,000 dex, but...
This is more than respectable damage to do on a hitless run.
Now he's regenerating stamina here, and you want to definitely do that. Because he's going to stagger. He'll stagger right before transition.
It's really nice. That's really nice.
One of the nice things about this exact amount of damage.
Gonna get another stagger here, I think, too.
Yeah, we should, I think.
There it
Interesting
is.
attack on a Oceiros there.
So yeah, of course, I'm kind of preemptively rolling for the insta charge, the infamous insta charge that he can get, and this fight requires a lot of practice.
It's one of the best.
Yeah, like really, like this could be like when you're doing like an endurance skill. This could be one of the toughest bosses in the game, maybe, right? Like with just stuff you have to know and positionings and stuff, but yeah, no, I really like Oceiros. He's my favorite boss to fight in the game, but yeah, like I say, he's annoying because when you're going into runs, he's one of the highest fucking run killers that exists. So
Yes, he is. Well, the arena. Oh my god,
True.
the arena could be better.
Yeah, that fight requires a lot of practice. Here we can just spook up and sneak on this guy, and we're actually a bit slow here. So we're just actually gonna back up here and wait until he turns around, and then we'll just spook and we can just kill him. You can also branch him actually, but
You can hide behind those tombstones for the turn.
on the right, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like right at the corner behind those all.
I guess he does it. And I think a sprint attack, you can backstab him actually. Like you can just walk him and backstab, but like a sprint attack plus an R1 should be enough.
Spook value, boys and girls.
Yep. And then we get, of course, the gesture for the hidden Archdragon Peak area. Also, yeah, on this, you should probably firebomb this.
You should.
Like, when you're rolling into some illusory walls in this game, you can just clip through the map. So this
Always
is one that it
throw a bomb.
can happen. So it'd be hilarious if it does happen. I want to... I don't know.
Trying to make it happen. Dude.
It's really
Rolling out like an angle.
unlikely, but it's definitely possible. So,
Medir's
yeah, you
hidden
might wanna
wall's
bomb.
another infamous one.
Distraction
Yeah, for
crabs
sure.
had it like 3 times.
It's gonna get the target shield. We're gonna be pairing champion, of course. There's a big soul right there you can grab
Need the souls.
for free.
And we spent like a lot of time trying to figure out a kill for this this boss, and it was consistent, but then there was just some situations where he wouldn't stagger, causing this kill not to be the desired way that we wanted it to be. So I think Gino said he was just gonna do 3 parries.
Yeah, simply just 3 parries.
Yeah.
The way I ran through there might have looked like pretty simple, but so you see that guy just threw a knife. It's actually important to know. The way I ran through there looks maybe simple, but that path is actually very important because as you drop down, and like as I did that roller cover and like a few paces forward, there's a guy who can throw knives at you. So you need to kind of arc your running path. I made a save there. I could probably show it again. It is very important to get familiar with this like running path you have to take. Just because there's a lot of enemies here, and yeah, you don't want to get clipped by a throwing knife or something. So I'll show it again. You could also skull here technically, but
You could, yeah. That's true.
it's not really necessary.
You'd want to Skull the Grave Warden too if you do that. Otherwise, you could be getting chased.
True.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So we can come
We
up
used
here to
to.
drop and not take any fall damage. But yeah, look at this arc I'm taking. So that enemy right there can throw knives. You just kind of like arc around.
Slow curve, dude. Slow curve.
Yep, and see we're always kind of running at an angle.
Never
There you
want
go.
to be straight parallel with enemies behind you. Use line of sight because daggers will get you.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so here, yeah, like Vswed said, we spent some time trying to figure, like, there's a stagger strat that's consistent, but I think it's just the amount of damage we have makes it not work or something. It's something weird, but, yeah, simply 3 parries is enough here, so. So, 3 L1s off the start here. Just, like, it's good to get comfortable pairing anything you can do, and then you're going to switch to 2-hand, 3 L1s, you're going to roll this transition, parry that one, 3 L1s again, dodge whatever he does, and then it's just one more parry and whatever parry that may be. I guess I could have parried that.
I'm surprised he didn't do the jump.
Yeah, just 3 more L1s and it's should be done. Oh, goodness.
That's the reason that happened is because of Pontiff Sulyvahn.
Yeah, I guess you could buff during this. I didn't think it was necessary, but
Yeah,
I guess we're gonna
Pontiff
buff.
Sulyvahn.
yeah,
You
I
could
think
just put it on the
yeah.
resin.
Yeah, I think I just missed a counter actually, maybe like one of the blades or something. If that's what
Right
you
at
said,
the
Vswed, I
beginning.
don't know what you said.
Pretty
but-
good.
No, I said the Pontiff side probably ran out from the.
Oh,
the
maybe.
hits.
Yeah, maybe actually. True. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, we do have a fire resin, so you could just use that. Or, like, I guess with that, you could even just bundle right away.
You could do anything.
Yeah, and I just realized I'm on the wrong notes still. Here we go. Yeah, I guess bundle off the start, maybe. Let's just do that. Bundle off the start makes sense. You'd be getting a bit of extra damage here, and on the first kind of couple L1s here, which should easily be enough for that to just not happen.
Ooh, it's a fun one. You don't get to see that one ever.
There we go. No problem. Yeah, so just I'm gonna
Funny though.
actually add that to the notes. I actually no, I did have resin in the notes, so I guess you could do either. Either works. Yeah. And like I can try to show that stagger shot, but I don't know if it's worth showing even.
It's not even worth it. We spent like it. We it's so dumb.
Yeah,
I'm mad.
it's
even thinking
fine.
about it.
Yeah. So yeah,
It
there you
looks
go.
pretty
There's
cool, but
yeah, champion, very straightforward. You can use a resin or you can bundle. I guess we just determined. Yeah, 3 L1s off the start and then parried into 3 L1s 3 times, and this is very simple. We're gonna go
Parry to
back to
victory.
last rested as well because we're gonna be going straight up to DSA. So it's like a sort of a boss rush right now, like this little segment of bosses, just boss after boss after boss.
Which is nice.
Yeah, so we did get the elevator right, so we just go straight up. Gives us time to pop some of these souls as well.
DSA is gonna be another one that gets dealt with pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's a quick fight when you know how to like bait out the proper attacks, like the shield slam and strafe it and stuff. Yeah, and using a blossom here is pretty nice too, if you want to, because you know you're gonna be an ideal fight. You're gonna be kind of just attacking constantly. So see, this is the shield slam that we're trying to bait out, and you bait it out when you go to that position behind him.
His left shoulder.
Yeah.
Stamina
Position.
3, stamina 3 again.
Yep.
4 even.
Maybe, but there's not
Are
really a point in getting that.
Stagger
Yeah.
here.
Even-
No stagger.
you can do an
That's kinda
R1 as
slow.
well. If you
Yeah,
decided
that's-
not to resin
yeah.
for whatever reason, the R1 prepped a stagger.
Yeah, it's a really nice kill +8 actually. Like, yeah, we're not gonna be getting a stagger with the resin, but it's not really necessary. Like, you kill him so fast if you just get like
Yeah.
one shield slam attack after the transition, and it's just done, right? Like, just no problem.
I love how fast this route is, with how efficient everything still is, with how quick it is.
Yeah, for sure. So Archive Sage, like, you can, there's a lot of strats of dealing with the Archive Sage, but on this, we have a good setup to kill him. Yeah, exactly. So all we need to do is literally just, you know, bundle, parry, and 4 L1s, and that's just going to be it. So,
really
yeah,
nice.
it's very straightforward. So parry, bundle. Should just be 4 hits here. And there you go. So now you don't really have to worry about the Sage for the rest of the archives. And like, you know, like if you don't want to kill the Sage or you don't want to parry or something, there's very consistent strats for running through here with the Sage alive.
Yep. Difficult ones, but consistent.
Yeah,
ones.
it's a little bit more precise, I think, with how you have to do it, but
definitely the stamina lines are really, really tough in my opinion. Some of the toughest lines are through this spot for doing hitless speedruns. Like
yeah. If you're trying to do the ultra fast strats and like just gun it through, yeah, for sure. But like there's strats where you do the same thing and the Sage will teleport to this spot and then you kind of just throw a firebomb. Like that's what I usually like to do.
Yeah, I do that too. On like current runs, and I'll like wait for the candle guy. Even it's like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like what I would recommend doing here is what we're doing. So like we're waiting for this candle guy to get down and turn around. And then when we do that, we're gonna have a safe amount of time to go and throw a skull for those 2 thralls that are up there. And then yeah, we just kind of run through the rest of it. And like you can kind of just, you don't actually have to wait here. You don't even have to throw a skull if you don't want to, if you're comfortable dodging the Flamberge thrall. But it just makes it even favorite. So
I hate Flamberge guy.
Yeah, he's really annoying. So yeah, you turned around there, so now we just go throw a skull up there.
If you had fire bombs, you could even kill the candle guy if you were really scared of him.
Yeah, you could. If you get this attack, you can kind of just like wait behind this for this.
Yep.
I'm gonna damage cancel this. It's unnecessary. Like you can just heal up, but just have a habit of doing that at this point. And make sure you're not like going slow during that because you could get caught.
Yeah.
That's like the one thing, and then the rest of Archive is so easy. I'm gonna take this path, turn this guy around.
Give him the old spin.
Yep.
Very consistent line there, even though it looks scary. And we're going to use a white branch for the gargoyle.
I honestly think that line's much better than going off to the left.
Oh, for sure.
Unless for some reason you've started the global timer earlier and they've already moved.
Yeah.
A lot of global timers in this game too.
Yeah, so with this gargoyle, we're going to branch him. Like, but a branch is actually just totally optional. Like, if you know how to dodge this guy's attacks, like, if you know all of his attacks to dodge, it's not as simple as the one on the bridge in Profane Capital, because it's the elevation's different, so you can't just, like, sprint underneath him. But yeah, if you know his attacks, then yeah, you can just dodge past him, and you don't have to worry about branching here. But if you want it to be even safer, you can just, come to this spot, branch, and then just walk behind this pillar here, and you'll start his path up. And then you simply just wait for him to walk past, and then you can go. But yeah, if you're comfortable dodging his attacks, you can just do that. Like if you're looking for a bit more speed, or if you don't have branches for some reason or something.
No branches. What kind of world are we living in with no branches?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Jerome wants the fuck out.
he's gone, dude. Jerome made his own little fairyland.
Yeah, so our last 2 chunks are these ones here. And so then now we're at 6, and that's 12 out of 12, so for our plus 9.
I love this route, dude.
Yeah, this is a great route. Throw a skull for these guys. That's actually like an optional skull. You can get away with not doing it, but they could potentially catch up to you when you're throwing this one. So.
They definitely will. I've died to this.
Yeah, it's a
I
good
would
idea
highly
to throw
encourage it.
Whoa, look at this guy. I thought he was going after me for a second.
Doing 360s.
Keeping you on your toes.
All right, so this is going to be like kind of a faster bridge here. It's 100% consistent.
This is safe.
Like, it's totally safe to do. It's just, like, you might want to look at the stamina management a bit.
A blossom, if you have it. This skull is money.
Yeah, you're going to throw a skull there. You're going to throw another one. Now, if you don't want to throw those skulls, like if you're worried about getting shot in the back, you can actually just go and into the elevator room and then throw skulls for the knights. But this is like the fast kind of like meta way of doing this, I feel like.
For sure. Like that skull, that first skull is 100% safe.
Yeah.
Who is this guy? What is that guy
It's the
doing?
same one.
Who is
That's
that?
like
The guy
It's like
made
one of
it
the
from the
first guys
bottom.
in the area.
Hello, dude. What a legend. Someone give that
Yeah,
man a
he's
raise.
dedicated.
I actually kind of don't
crazy.
have any good buffs for this because I accidentally
Oh,
used
yeah.
the fire resin earlier, but that's
can't
okay.
get over
It doesn't.
that.
It literally doesn't matter. Like buffs, like it probably won't even save a hit anyway. So
Your buff is the twin blade.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, like we were saying earlier, like if you're scared of like that skull strat, you can just run into the elevator room and then throw the skulls from there, or even like go down the elevator and like reset the area if you wanted to, or whatever you want. Really, it doesn't really matter what you do there. Yeah, we're gonna walk in. We're going to pop the resin right away. You can actually roll backwards on that opening attack, and you won't get hit by any you won't get hit no matter which one he does. Like you'll outspace it. So.
You can notice what Gino does here a lot is on his second L1 of a lot of combos, he'll unlock. Well, he's not locked on now, but what he did do is he used the lock on and then unlocked on his second attack to adjust his positioning so that he could still keep strafing. But then he got into a loop where he didn't need the lock on anymore.
That was a tight run to the fog wall.
Yeah, that I actually like wasn't gonna kill him, but then I'm like, yeah, I'll just kill him.
Right there, that second attack he turned so that he kept the loop going. It's really good.
Yeah, and of course you could cheese princes. I'm not gonna show it, but
that's so dishonest.
of course that happened. 'Cause
I
just
love that
killed him during a
teleport.
port.
Yeah. Any
It's the
marks,
best.
dude? You should show the cheese real quick.
Well, which one?
The funny one, the
Like the AI break one?
Yeah, that one. Do that one. People like that one.
Okay, I can try. It's kind of it's sort of annoying to set up, and
Go for the speed one though. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
you
there's the fog gate cheese, which probably everybody knows by this point, which you could do to make it just like completely trivial. But if you want to do the stylish cheese, whoops, whoa, how did I just do
Whoa.
that?
Yeah, this is,
Basically, you can like get an AI break.
I really like this.
You're really
Another
good to hold
L1
that opener.
there.
You can
Yeah, you can.
you can go in on it and get 3 too.
Really good positioning here with his attacks, keeping the perfect.
Yeah, we're gonna want to start getting him over here now. If we are doing this cheese, and he's got to be a bit further. Like we want him to be on all these
Yeah.
feathers here. Interesting.
Oh, that's
attack.
good. That's good. All right, here we go. Well,
I'm a little far. It's maybe a little closer.
there we go.
Oh, what is that? Okay, but we're in the spot. Like, forget
Okay,
about that
okay,
whole meme with the like teleporting up there. So this is like another cheese you can do. That's not the fogwall cheese. Yeah, essentially what you're gonna want to do in this position is just kind of angle here, and just kind of swing. And you can only like you only want to hit Lothric here.
This is spicy. I love this one.
Yeah,
Look
so
at
you can
this.
just do this kind of over and over again.
I love it.
Like,
The
I wouldn't
speed.
worry about this on runs. Like, you're probably better off just, like, trying the fogwall cheese if you are gonna do something, but yeah.
I love that, dude. That one's awesome. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, but like he said, it can be kind of a pain to set up. Too.
It's not worth setting up with this
Yeah,
much. Like,
like-
it's
Yeah, like, that's what
Yeah.
you can do if you somehow get into that position. You're like, oh, I'm really close. I just need to, like, bait him, like, over one, like one step over here, and then we can do it. Like, where you want to be when you're starting phase 2, by the way, is on the intersection between the feathers and the carpet. And there's sort of a square there behind where they spawn, and that's where you want to be in order to trigger that. But yeah, so that's princes. Now we're going to place all the Lord Throne things, the Cinders, and we're going to get our plus 10, right? So we got our 6 Titanite chunks, and
I feel like a
we
lot
can
of
buy
people
a slab.
don't know that you
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that you can actually buy the slab after placing all these.
Yeah, and so yeah, what Vswed's saying is once you place all these thrones here, you can buy a slab for 30k from the handmaiden. It's basically the fastest slab to get. So unless you wanted to like kill Friede early or something, which I don't know, not sure about that, but.
Did you just
buy that slab?
I think you just sold it. Never mind. Okay.
I sold the stupid
I thought you bought it and sold
covenant
it.
item, the shackle that I had for a long time.
So now we are plus 10, guys.
Yeah, plus 10, and we've got, of course, 350k souls to level up right now. We still got 12 skulls too, which should be enough.
Should be
for the run.
At this point, you can go do whatever boss you want, pretty much. Honestly, except Gravetender at wait.
No, you actually could do Gravetender. You can like we can do anything in the run at this point. Like we've got our plus 10. We have enough endurance for any strat, and we'll see the Gravetender strat later. We're gonna do it with 40 endurance, but 36 should be easily enough. But yeah, like it is sort of all preference at this point. What order of bosses you do. So you're gonna want to get your plus 10, but then you could do anything. You could go to Gravetender. You could go to like Demon Princes if you wanted to. You could go do Wyvern and Nameless. Like
ODK,
it doesn't
tree doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter past this point. But this will be like sort of just a guide in how to do these sections. Not really necessarily the order is what matters. So yeah, here I'm gonna do a little trick if I get it actually, but. You can just, like, once you spawn into the kiln, you can actually just bone to last bonfire and it'll take you right to Cinder. But then you can also do this, like, mid-cutscene here.
Right now, he's inputting the homeward bone, and you could hear it. You could hear the homeward bone going off in the darkness. And now when he pops up here, he's going to be right here.
Yeah, and so you don't need to do it mid-cutscene. Like, right when you spawn in, you can just go to last bonfire and you'll just spawn there. It saves a bit of time. We've got our 2 dark resins for Cinder, of course. Yeah, Cinder's a tough boss. Like, we have so much damage at this point with our plus 10. But you still, you need to make sure to not get caught. And he can give you some bad energy sometimes, but it helps to be aggressive, I find, so that you just see the least amount of Cinder possible.
If you guys want a Cinder guide, just go watch Geo's video, which he should be posting in the chat right now.
I can link it. Now, if you do get some good punish in this first phase, and he stays in sword long enough, plus 8 is you're starting to get into one cycle territory, like sword cycle territory.
He just got the cycle there, yeah. If you keep up pressure, he'll never ever switch out of sword phase. You can get 3 attacks in here. I lied, he's gonna get 4. Oh my.
Yeah,
spicy.
Yeah, there's a little strat you can do there. You just like kind of roll in. You can stand kind of a lot closer than you think, and then you roll in. You can get your 4 L1s. Since we have so much stamina, it's safe to do that. Like that'd be a bit tougher to do if you were like low on stamina or something. I also probably should have buffed again, but I didn't. So.
Nah. Probably gonna miss the stagger just with this RNG.
Yeah, this isn't great RNG here.
Attack scary.
Wow, interesting. Not great RNG, but he should backstep in a second, and it's just gonna be over. Like with plus 10, whenever he does the backstep and the lightning, like he's gonna die every time basically, unless he's like more than half HP or something. Unless I whiff a hit. Like
unless you miss a blade, dude, he might die here.
Yeah, no, not a problem. If that actually happens when like he dies and you kill him, you just stand where he is, like stand where his body is, and then just like when the lightning starts to come down, you just roll away. It should be totally safe on the lightning dodge, because it can be like sort of an awkward situation and that a lot of people haven't seen when you kill Cinder and then the lightning comes down afterwards. So,
right. If you guys, like I said, there's Geo's guide. Make sure if you guys want to see some Cinder,
for sure.
That's where you want.
Or Axe first run. Comes down right afterwards. Yeah, if you stand in that spot, like the closer you stand to the spot where the lightning spawns, the smaller of an area the bolts are gonna.
Yep. All right, so obviously we're not going to go in NG+. In this run, we're going to actually go do Wyvern and Nameless now, and the reason we're doing this is because of the Xanthus Ashes. Vswed mentioned that we could pick it up earlier if you wanted to, and that, yeah, you totally can. But yeah, we're going to do this now. So you can do this little jump here across. It just saves some time. Or if you don't want to do it, you don't want to die or something, you just drop down and take the ladder there.
Who would die on their way to Wyvern on such a
Yeah,
good
who
run?
would do? Who would?
Definitely,
Honestly,
definitely never
Who'd
heard of
miss
that
that?
person.
Make sure you remember to press the jump button. I think two of the three of us have forgotten to jump. One of us got lucky, one of us didn't. One of us got lucky, one of us didn't. I happened to fall off to the left. I think it's actually in the run I got. I happened to fall off to the left and get lucky.
I'll never do that jump on a run again. I don't care.
it's easier than they're making it seem.
Oh, it is 100%.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, I just
this
forgot
was,
to
mind you,
jump.
this was
Let's
4
go.
years ago. Like, I'm just crazy.
Yeah.
Don't listen to me.
We
Yeah,
just
so
forgot to jump.
What we're going to want to do here is simply just wait for these jailers to path around. The Xanthus Ashes are in that cell on the right. So, and this is what you would do if you were coming here earlier to pick them up as well. Same idea.
Exactly.
You just wait for them to go past, and then you can kind of pop into the cell and get the item on the right there. Just make sure you don't like accidentally pick up that if you're like curious or something. It's going to aggro all the jailers, so.
I've done that before, and it was
Yeah.
it's a disaster, to say the least.
I
I was
remember
like, what's
that.
this? What's this? Picks it up.
First after the jump scare, then the jailers come. You
Dude,
get
it
the
was
jump
so
scare
loud.
first.
I wasn't expecting how loud that was. I was like, oh my god. That's what I get for picking stuff up.
That's another one you could turn your volume up to 10 for chat. Make sure everybody's awake.
That's a
Yeah.
good point. Here, if you want to be safe, you can do what I'm doing here and just like wait for all the jailers to path around until I can like spook past them or slow walk or whatever. But it should be consistent to actually just gun it through. And then like what we were talking about earlier with the rolls, like on the projectiles, like you just kind of just spam roll it when they're trying to drain you. And it should be consistent, especially with this huge stamina bar. But it's understandable if you want to be just safer and just kind of do what we just did there. Just wait. Wonder if my game's gonna crash here.
Maybe.
I don't have crash fix, but I don't think it will actually.
No crash fix.
Yeah, and so what we're gonna do for the Ancient Wyvern is like a little skip that you can plunge him from the bottom. It's pretty simple to do, but you have to be careful that you don't like die. But we'll see when we get up there. You'll just want to dodge past this guy here, and then this path that we're gonna take here is pretty like it's pretty important. Like you'll see how the
Yeah,
fireballs get like
I would
blocked
say
by the
it-
terrain
yeah.
like that, and then we're gonna strafe that one. We're gonna cut across for this one. You're gonna dodge this guy, and then you're basically good.
He didn't thread the needle that time.
Definitely a precise little path here. This is a nice little running section to practice a lot and get good at. And then be
Yeah, you see
mindful
this
of
guy's
anyone
chasing. It's not a problem because he can't walk in past that that gate. So
I would say more often than not it doesn't happen, but it's
Yeah.
definitely good to be.
for sure.
Yeah, you gotta be wary. This is the Wyvern.
Yeah, Ancient Wyvern. The one thing you have to watch out for here is the tail swipe. Now, like that's the garbage attack, and he, it's less common, I would say. Like you don't get it as much probably.
It's common as anything else. I'd
Yeah,
say.
maybe I don't know. I feel like I don't see it as much.
Less. I see it less often. You
Please
could
do it.
choke
I
up
want
on
him to do
stamina
it.
a little bit.
He's not going to do it.
Oh, okay.
If you choke up on stamina a little bit, he'll be more likely to do a stomp. But I mean, really, you're just going to want to do this run up, and you'll get familiar with the timing after some exposure to it.
Yeah,
It's
what
a
you're
little bit-
looking for is
I think more delayed than you'd
Yeah.
expect.
you're looking for Wyvern's head to be. Okay, so I kind of just missed that there. You're looking for Wyvern's head to be like not right up against the wall there, and that was actually a good position. I just didn't get up on the railing fast
Yeah.
enough. But yeah, you're gonna get up on this railing, and then do a jump like a jump attack. And it's important to not do like a plunge, like not jump and then try to plunge or something. Like you're gonna do a sprint R2, and he was like really far away on that other one. But yeah, so I guess I don't have my controller on the screen, but. You're gonna do. You're gonna be sprinting, and you're gonna tap R2 to do this, and then it's gonna turn into a plunge because you start falling. Like the one thing you just have to practice is getting up on this railing. I kind of haven't done this in a while, but
What I was gonna say is, since he missed the first plunge attack, he gets out of position, and every attempt after that scuffed. He got extremely lucky that Wyvern repositioned right away as he did. A lot of people just have the homeward bone.
well, no, you'll get it eventually. Like you
Oh,
will
yeah,
for sure
eventually.
get it. Like you might just
Speaking
have
of
to
our
move around at the bottom to like try to reposition him a little bit. If you do miss there, yeah, Yeah, that's worth doing. It's worth practicing that. You can also, I guess, technically fight him straight up down there. I don't know if I should show that. It's pretty like old school strats, but
I remember when you used to do that with poison.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time. Yeah, what you can do is just bait out his flame attack and just like attack his neck if you want. But yeah, the things to look out for on Wyvern is for sure the tail swipe. Like, practice that running part, like to get to that lower section before you do the plunge. Practice that until you see the tail swipe and get hit by it, so you know what you're looking for. And then, yeah, it's important to practice getting up on that railing, because what can end up happening too is, like if you like walk too far, you could like fall down and die or something. So it's important to practice that.
Speaking of our friend Jerome earlier, a good tip he gave a long while back, is to actually go back to the arena after Wyvern's dead, and you can practice getting on the railing.
Yeah.
Do it with a little bit less pressure. True. Do that several times, and then you can go into the fight and start doing it. As Hemp likes to say, there's Vswed down there on break.
I'm on break, dude. Look at me go. I never heard that one.
Oh, Hemp says it every time he goes by. He's like, "Hey, look, there's Vswed."
Yeah, we're just waiting for this guy to go a bit past, just so he doesn't aggro, just to make sure. But yeah, that path back there, you're gonna wanna, like, it's pretty lenient, but you want to take that path, roughly what I took.
Very lenient.
Yeah. And now on this part, I like to use a skull for these rock dudes. It is optional, and there are actually a couple ways that people do this nowadays. And I guess I'll show both. One of them I haven't done for a really long time, but yeah. So you're gonna like want to throw a skull somewhere over here. And again, this is optional. But what I think most people do now is you bait the Wyvern, and then you come stand in this window.
I've never done that.
I have seen some really bizarre things happen here. And happened happened on one of my runs too. Like most of the time he's gonna fly away, but I have seen him do fire breath here. Like yep, I've only seen it once, to be fair, but hopefully made a save there. Only seen it once, but you know, it's just, I don't know. It sketches me out when I go there. I just feel like he's gonna do it, but
I don't know. Run, you gotta run for sure. I think running is the safest, because the fire on the ground isn't lingering. There's no hitbox. Like once he breathes that initial fire, you're fine to run. Like right here, I think is what Gino's about to show you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, so what you would do, and I haven't done this in a really long time, you just run here to the side. I think it's just here, right?
Yeah,
just
and then go.
And
you
then
don't
just go.
Yeah. This is the best way, 100%.
Yeah, and then again, here you have to watch out for tail swipes on that attack.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, like, maybe your camera, just make sure you're managing your camera properly. I have seen the Wyvern, like, rotate the camera around a lot. And, like, I've actually had that happen where I was running underneath him, and then he turned my camera, and I just sprinted right off the edge. So,
really?
like, you kind of, yeah, that, like, you just, like, I think it had to do with my camera height when that happened, but, you know, just watch out for that, I guess. Okay, now this part, we're going to bait this guy in a specific way. It depends on what attack he does. So, yeah, we're going to bait him. Like, you want to run to the right and then cut left. Yeah, exactly.
Right, left. It has no tracking. It'll stay right, and you'll just zoom right by it. Right, left. Don't need the bonfire either.
Even ease up a little bit and regain some stamina, especially if he's got the soul mass up. He'll fire go more towards the stairs rather than the archway.
Yeah, and he's
I remember
also
losing
got, like, a whip attack.
He has two whip attacks. Two different whip attacks.
And so you just have to watch out for that too. I think most of the time you probably just get out of range fast enough, but it doesn't hurt to roll it, I guess.
Exactly. All right, this is Nameless. Pretty straightforward kill here. Chicken's going to get melted, followed by Nameless is going to get melted.
I don't think I need any kind of bundle here. I'm going to just not use
just going to give him the old 1, 2, 3, I think.
Yeah, I find getting closer baits out this one more.
I don't like this opener.
Oh, this opener's great, because then you do 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to lock on and do your fourth, and then it's done, right? Two hits here. And that's it. I definitely think this opener is superior.
I just hate Riposte finishing him though, because I like buffing before this starts. That's the only thing.
Whoops. Ooh. I just hesitated right there, and besides I wanted to show the other Wyvern opener anyways.
Yeah, that was a really fast kill, but like Geo said, I like having it so where I can apply the buff before going into phase 2. Personally.
Well, you have time. You should have time if you get a riposte kill to get a buff off, like I did there. And like even if he does the fast kind of, like I think the fast attack he can do is the wind slam. You should easily have time on that.
Unless I'm misremembering, does he ever do the vertical one as the opener? I feel like that could
Yeah,
be
he
very
will.
tight.
Yeah, no, that's the one I'm talking
If
about.
he
yeah.
does,
Like you
yeah,
have
the horizontal one
easily
would
have enough
definitely
time.
not be a problem.
Okay, so I'm gonna hopefully not get that same opener this time. Just to see, if I find if you're standing further back, he's more likely to do this. And so in this case, he's probably gonna do that like jab again. Okay, he doesn't. So this fire breath. This would be like more of a normal fight.
Another common one, if he jumps over you, is the big lightning slam, and for that you just want to run. Of course, just run underneath him.
Oh my goodness.
It's a rare attack.
The insanely rare fire attack.
He has 2 extremely rare attacks in phase 2 that you can't really practice to see them. It's one of them
the
is
wind
during
is even more annoying.
The wind is one of them, and the other one is the lightning during the fire breath.
Yeah.
Those 2 situations never ever happen.
You can make them more likely, but still not 100%. The fire breath, the winds. If you stand under him constantly, he's like eventually bound to do it. The little lightning stake Wyvern or Nameless does from a top Wyvern will happen if you keep punishing, like, as the fire breath ends, he's more likely to do it. I had a close call with that attack, actually.
You can actually see what Gino's doing here is he's not doing rolling attacks, and rolling attacks actually aren't very ideal in a lot of situations. The Twin Blades actually have a pretty solid rolling attack, but it's always better to do a standing L1.
Yeah, there's only like very specific scenarios, such as like punishing Cinder's fireball, where I would purposely do a rolling attack, but otherwise you're gonna get the attack off just as fast if you take one step at L1, and it's gonna be better for damage.
That's Nameless.
I'm actually
Nameless.
gonna. I kind of want to do this one more time, just because I got a stagger before the kind of like the big lightning attack.
Yeah, you can take it a little slower.
Yeah. So Twin Blades are insane because they just deal so much damage, and they also like deal reasonable stagger damage and stuff. So yeah, there you see, like I didn't even get any amount of phase 2. He didn't even start to transition. Like he was going to, but I staggered him while he was doing it. So yeah, I'll try to show like what you would normally do there, and I think you would normally be getting the stagger after that transition happens. So
one thing I would like to point out is that to make a stagger happen like that more consistently at that timing, you actually do not want to set up RTSR for this fight. It can seem very natural to assume that the more damage you get, the better. But often if you ease off the damage just a little bit, you'll stagger the boss earlier in the fight. And in this case, with Nameless and the setup we've got going here, you'll get the stagger before he finishes buffing his weapon. If you were to do it with RTSR, you might see him finish his buff, have to dodge the lightning, and then dodge an attack in phase 2 before you get the stagger.
yeah, let's take it a bit slower on this one, just so that we can see the non-stagger, hopefully. Okay, there we go. So he's going to do this. You just kind of rotate around him, and then you come back around, you just spam him. And like most of the time with this upgrade, you're going to get the stagger here. And this is a more normal fight. And then when he's getting up, you just finish him off.
One of the fewer bosses that has an active hitbox when he's on the ground while he's getting up.
Yep. Yeah, so Nameless is very easy with this amount of damage. Like,
yeah, he is. He's a pushover.
And yeah, you can even like take your time and not even punish. Like, there's some close punishes you can go for with Twin Blades. Yeah, you don't even have to worry about it too much. So, okay, so we got the Xanthus Ashes. I'm gonna go ahead and buy.
Well, branches
again,
anyone?
it doesn't matter how many you buy there. Like,
And at this point, remember pumping endurance.
yep. So 40 endurance is
40.
like the most you're gonna need. Whoops.
Whoa.
See how far I walked?
Yeah, that was crazy. What the fuck?
Okay, so we're gonna go. Yeah. So once we have our 40 endurance, and again, like you don't actually technically need 40 for like some of these strats, but we're gonna go do Gravetender now. And Twin Blades have a really unique thing that they can do on Gravetender to just completely trivialize the boss.
I don't think many people have probably seen this.
Yep, maybe not. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's a nice little stun lock you can get him in. A true stun lock until he just dies, basically. Like, it's so good.
The blender, dude.
Yep.
It's the blender.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the Tarzan strat here. Basically, you're just gonna want to run before, like, there's kind of a bigger gap where the bridge separates. I don't know if you could have seen it earlier. But just like sit down here, cast Spook while you're on the bridge, and just drop down. If you don't want to do that, you can just sit up there and climb down the normal way. And then this running section is very important to get good at. So we're gonna sit here. We're gonna cast a Spook, and you're gonna want to basically take this exact line. This is a very fast and consistent way of getting down these branches without having to deal with enemies. So you're gonna just drop down, roll off here, and then that's it. And you can get the bonfire in case you're like worried about something going wrong in Gravetender, maybe. I don't know.
You guys should all rewind the video if you're watching this and watch that part again, because that line's really good.
Yeah,
It'll be
yeah,
very
for sure.
consistent.
Yep.
It is. I wish that one came around sooner.
Yeah.
Yep.
So here we're just gonna aggro the fight. I actually like have a habit of just like throwing a bomb at the dog here for some reason. I missed that, but I don't know why. I just have always done that. Yeah, we just basically need to kill these wolves somehow. So first one. Twin Blades are actually great for this because they like really hit to the side of them a lot. So like they actually have a bigger hitbox than you might think. So the whole idea here is we're gonna wait until we have an opportunity to go in. Which I'll show. Like during stance we can go in, or during a jump attack we can also go in. And we're gonna start up this combo. And you'll see in the notes there it's L1 and to tap R2, and you just repeat that and Gravetender will not get out. So you outspace this, and Gravetender will not get out of this. And so we're gonna set up about 50% HP, roughly. And then to finish off, we're gonna
quick bundle and
do it again.
We're right beside where the wolf spawns as well.
Yep.
So we're gonna carry some Pontify right into this. Maybe not.
Yeah, it was a little bit off, but still got a hit in early. Yeah, and it's that easy. Like, it's such an easy fight when you're doing that combo. And look at the damage on the Twin Blades.
Yeah,
it's just like
it's
just the chunks of health going down. Just ridiculous. But yeah, that's it. Like that's Gravetender right there.
Super easy Gravetender. One of the easier fights probably with Twin Blades.
Yep. With that combo, it's just
it's stupid easy.
Yeah.
The dogs at the start are probably the hardest part.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess here you can set up RTSR, I guess, like coming up the elevator or up the ladder, but you don't really need to, I guess. You can also, another thing, actually, you can talk to Friede here and get the Chillbite ring.
Definitely worth doing, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you're worried about Frostbite, like, you can get the Chillbite, which what it does is you'll see in a second when I put it on, it increases my Frostbite resistance, like, nearly double, and obviously Friede does some frost stuff. Like, I'm not going to put it on for this, because it isn't necessary. But, yeah, you can get that if you're worried about it. Like, one thing to note with the frost is that you can actually roll through the... like kind of the ice sheets that she throws out, and you won't get any frost buildup when you're rolling. So, you know, like versus if you're sprinting through it, you'll take a lot of frostbite, but if you're rolling, you won't. So, you'll see in a second, I guess, if I actually have to do it.
Hopefully for sure, it's the biggest hazard in phase 2, and in phase 1 and 3, it should probably.
Yeah, for sure.
I like to say phase 1's the most difficult phase because of how small the arena is.
Yeah, so we're just going to start up an R2 immediately, and you can get 2 L1s, but just, you know, like 1 is probably on the safer side, but like I would personally be doing 2, just because look at this damage, like 2 backstab kill. It's absolutely wild.
And we've been debating Hornet Ring yesterday, and then once we got to this fight, it's like, oh, there's no way. It wouldn't have even made a difference on phase 1, unless you did less punish after the backstab.
A firebomb caused Friede to jump there, causing distance. And this is going to be probably a 1 cycle if we get a good attack here from Father. Nice, we did.
Ooh. Nah, this is totally fine. So what's going to happen? Friede should go to heal, probably. There it is. Yeah, and we're going to have lots of time with Ariandel on her own. And you can use bundles here. She's actually healing in an interesting spot. Doing doing this rotate attack. You just circle around.
It's a great attack to get. Yeah, it's a really
look at
big
that, like,
punish.
so much damage on this fight. It's absolutely insane. Although one thing, like, she's actually in kind of an awkward spot here, I guess, but it's not too bad. Like, you don't really want her against the wall. Ideally, she's just right in the center, but
there's a little space behind her at least. But yeah, not the best.
Yeah. So what he's gonna do here is when the fight starts, he's probably gonna. Are you gonna go in on it?
oh yeah, you just go. You just walk directly behind. You can get an L1 in here and then backstab. I like personally not being locked on for that. I find it much easier, but
Ooh. Nice.
you can actually do the same
there.
thing here. Although I whiffed it, but now, yeah, my stamina is a bit off, so I'm actually just gonna back up for a second. But
Look at that damage, though. You already got.
yeah, damage is crazy. I guess it's important to note here, like the way she's going, like the big,
It's a little awkward.
the big cloud is, like is the direct opposite direction where she went, basically. I guess.
Nice. And he can roll this one, which he did. Nice punish. That one's a little tough to get. That was a little fancy for you guys. You guys wouldn't probably want to go for that one, but that's a nice punish.
Yeah, it's safe to just like sit at range, you know, wait it for her like jump attacks, roll in, or wait for that big black flame attack and go underneath. And yeah, like I said earlier, I think it's important. Like, I find not locking on during that big black flame attack just much easier to go to the right spot. Like, you literally just go straight behind her.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's
And it's
true.
pretty,
I noticed how you like moved
Yeah.
your camera over top head almost to look down.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like you did anyway, subconsciously maybe.
But yeah, Friede's probably one of the more dangerous fights in the run, I'd say. Even with Twin Blades, like, obviously, it makes her a lot easier when it's only like 3 backstabs phase 3, but she can do some dangerous things, so obviously she's going to require a lot of practice if you're like starting up all bosses runs.
Mm-hmm.
I've died jumping out this window once. I don't know
I
why.
actually have too. I guess I landed on a rock or something, or maybe my game was just bugged, or I don't know.
It was only once though. It was weird.
You got flippies installed.
I know. I fucking I hate like even thinking that about. Every time I go through that glass, I'm just holding my breath.
Yeah, so this path is pretty, like this path through this whole running section, there's really nothing to pick up, but
Straightforward.
yeah,
Straight
but
to the
it's important, like, especially when we get to later part, to follow the right path. I'll explain when we get there for like the second angel, but here you actually don't you don't really have to kill this guy here. You can if you want, but it's unnecessary. Like, the angel will stop shooting once you get down here, so.
Yeah, it has to like reposition.
And we can run off of here. It's kind of the more fast way of doing it. You can also just run that way and get the bonfire. It's literally the exact same strat up here. It's just this is maybe slightly faster.
I think you have a little more leeway actually getting to the hut this way too.
Yeah, so what we're going to do, and it would be the same even if you're going for that side, you're going to get into the hut, wait for this volley to finish, and then we're going to go run behind this rock. And then as soon as we hear a noise here, there it is. As soon as we hear the noise from the angel, we just gun it to this like little overhang on this hut here. And
Gotta
that's
love
it.
audio cue strats, chat.
Yeah. You just sit here. This is a safe spot. And then when she stops, you just run off of here, and then you're good.
Very consistent.
Yep. Totally consistent. Here, now this guy's actually worth killing because the angel can shoot you when you're like in the bonfire area up here. So I actually would kill this guy. Like on the way to the Demon Prince fight, she can shoot you, so. And yeah, here we're actually going to set up RTSR too, because it's really quick to do it. So this is going to be like the first place we use RTSR.
That's what I was thinking here. With the slope is really easy to set it up.
Yeah, exactly. Oops. I think, actually, I wonder if just a full drop here is good.
That's what I was thinking, all the decks we have.
Yeah, perfect, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, in the notes, I say, you know, preference for which demon. Yeah, so the laser demon, which is killing the, I always forget the names of them, but the one who starts on the right.
think it's the demon from below that gives you laser, but it's still, yeah, it's the one on the right. That's the more important.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So, yeah, killing one on the right first will get you the laser phase 2, which I would say is simpler for like most no-hit runs, like most melee no-hit runs. So you can do that. You can also do the one on the left here, which gives you the Meteor Demon, and it's kind of like only on the Twin Blades I would suggest going for a kill that I'm going to show you, and it's really, really fast. Like, you won't actually see, you won't see like any attacks almost in the phase 2 if I do it properly. And it's been a while, but
it's really nice when you line it up.
Yeah, it's the damage is absolutely disgusting. You'll see. So yeah, you can go for either one. I'll show both, I think. So I'll make a save here. I will show both. But yeah, if you want to go like for a slower, kind of maybe less aggressive, safer fight, you can go for the one on the right here, like that one. But
I'll mention it in a second when we get here too. But if you go for the Meteor Demon and you're worried about the buff attack he's got in phase 2, there is a way to circumvent it. If you want to go for this kill, but you're a little worried about landing the stagger and getting all the strats lined up, there's something you can do.
Yeah, so if you get decent RNG here and you're aggressive enough, you just get the kill right away.
See you later.
And it's a bit trickier to do than like being patient and, you know, doing this fight like a traditional fight, but it is extremely fast, right? Like, if you're going for speed and you want a really fast run, then you're for sure going to be doing that. And then you just, you know, 1v1 this guy. It's actually giving me, like, not amazing RNG here, but...
Yeah.
Not better the second one than the first one.
Now, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, now this is where... I might mess this up.
Yeah,
full disclaimer, but you'll see, like, we can get a really fast kill here. And if you want to go for this, skulls can actually back you up, and I'll explain in a second, but... Yeah, this rotation strat that I'm about to do is absolutely required if you're going to try to go for, like, a quick kill like this. So you just kind of rotate around, do 2 hits. Keep rotating, and then we're going to spam here.
I think you can get a max of, what, like 6 or 7? 7 or 8.
Kind of unfortunate location here. Spicy.
This is interesting. So the whole point of this is that here we get this attack, and we should get a stagger here.
Charging up.
Nice.
That's the whole point. So we get a stagger. You hit the riposte.
Look at this.
Yeah, and this is how you do this kill, like, basically as fast as you can. And then he's going to get up, and he's going to go into that attack again. Or usually he would.
Forced it.
And yeah, he's just dead.
He's going to do it again. And so what happens if you're not getting that stagger when you want to? What that attack does, he's actually summoning these meteors that will start firing at you, kind of like a turret. And if you find that you're not getting that stagger in time, those are actually attracted to skulls. So once he goes into that attack, you land a couple hits, throw the skulls. And even once those meteors start firing, he has a whole second piece to that attack that's like has this huge wind up, and you can just demolish him while he's doing that.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it is safe to go for that phase. As like, it's good to have skulls though, for sure. And I'll show you kind of a more traditional fight. I won't be as aggressive. I'd probably go more with bundles if I was going for this one. And I think this is probably what most no-hit runners do at this point. Because it just kind of applies to every run. Like, I wouldn't really want to go for that Meteor Demon, like that guy, if I had, like, lower damage than this. Like, so SO1 or something like that, so... So you get your hits in, and now you're just going to basically be patient with this, right? Like, if you get an opening, you can go for it, but... You know, most of the time, you're just going to be patient. You're going to, like, just focus on that one. Actually did something quite aggressive here, but...
Immediately regresses back. It was safe, though. It was a great...
No, it was safe, but it was, like, a little aggressive.
Yeah.
Alright, and so then you're waiting for this, and so now we're going to get, like, a one-on-one, basically, with this guy.
You can really mess him up.
Now this is where you can do, like, most of your damage here. And hopefully get the kill.
I can imagine.
You'll notice he's got the fight lined up so that he's moving perpendicularly across where the demon that's breathing toxic is firing. That line, you always want to do that. You don't want to be going like back and forth across it because you get less punish.
Yeah.
If you got the rhythm of the fight kind of going back and forth across it, you can get a lot more punish and your natural movement, keeping you out of the way of that, while you can still attack.
Look at that damage. We get like an opening combo in, and he's already half HP. Like
66% HP gone. See you later, dude. Oh my god.
Yep, and then here you can do the rotation strat again, but you're gonna have to roll every single time. You're gonna have to roll a wind gust, and it's important. You got to roll it sideways. Like that's absolutely important. If you don't, you're gonna eventually get clipped behind while doing it. And I'll show the attack when we get it, and I'll show the sideways roll. It's like it looks weird and kind of counterintuitive to do a sideways roll on some attack that you'd think you just roll straight into, but. Okay, I didn't do the rotations as well here. This phase is a lot more lenient with how you have to how you're gonna want to do it. Like, it's kind of just more of a normal
Kind of good
fight.
to see though. See a longer, a little bit longer phase.
Yeah.
You can actually see the boss. Getting close to a wall. Here we go.
This is gonna fly. So you got to roll this sideways, and then you will never get hit from behind. It's sort of a huge meme hitbox. And probably most of the time you're going to get a stagger here. You also maybe have like a lot more time than you think to get this riposte. Like he's got a huge stagger. And I guess another thing on this fight here now too is that like being against a wall isn't ideal, and it's probably because of this attack, and I'm kind of low on stamina.
This is exactly.
Ooh, that was perfectly rolled, dude.
Yeah, that's a
That
very
is a
tough
tight roll.
right there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's probably one of the hardest rolls in the run actually. Like that attack has a ton
Especially
of
without
active
blood, right?
frames.
Yeah.
And that's why walls are bad. Like that's why walls are bad in this fight.
Do you know what I actually kind of like picked something up from watching CBD was when he would get that attack up against a wall, he would always just sprint under him and he would
yeah,
fly
you can do
way
that. You
over
can for
him.
sure do that.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, in that
Yeah.
case,
You gotta
when
make
you're,
sure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You gotta make sure his back is like actually facing the wall though. If he's against
Yeah.
the wall and he
Okay.
turns a little bit, it won't work. But yeah, if his
Yeah,
back
that's
is
what I
right
was gonna
against the
say.
wall and he does that, yeah, you run under him and that attack forces him to fly forward a little bit so he flies over your head.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. What Gio just said.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's not something I ever asked. I just like noticed one day. I was like, oh, that's cool.
But his back has got to be like flush to the wall. If it's angled, that might not work.
That's the great thing about this this route is that it gets a lot of the rough stuff out of the way early, and it makes the mid game like it makes a lot of rough fights a lot more lenient too. Like having +5 for like Abyss Watchers.
What is this
hilarious.
timing that I just got into?
I don't know what you did. I wasn't even honestly.
I waited there to like make a save, and I just like and he just like
That's-
aggroed me too early.
I'm gonna level it. I didn't even see what happened. Just did you get the bonfire?
No. So I was gonna show something, and I like made a save, and I just like I'm actually just gonna continue this from here, just so that the save doesn't mess things up. Let me do this really fast here though. I'm just gonna set up RTSR again. Just like I guess you can just heal this, but let me just do this really fast, just to show what this would actually be like here. So I'll just set up RTSR like something like that. Okay. So yeah, like you wouldn't be waiting there. This is what you would want to do in like a normal run. And like I guess you could take it a bit slower too. But this is like kind of the faster way to do this. So you just like here you just want to be sprinting. And yeah, like it's because I was waiting last time at the start, so
I didn't even see what happened.
yeah, you just sprint and you can get in behind this one in time, and then you're gonna want to cast Spook here. And then as soon as your Spook cast is done, then you just keep going. Just drop down here. Don't pull a Jerome and
Oh my god.
not heal or not Spook, and then die from fall damage right there at the end of a run.
How many runs has he lost in DLC 2 running sections?
More than
Several.
enough, probably.
More
The
than a
locust
handful.
head is the best.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there actually is like a jump you can do over there. I wasn't gonna bother, but I guess you can.
Nah, I mean, at this point in your run, if you're hitless, you definitely don't
Yeah.
want to.
So here you just want to
Have you?
run on the right side to
Sure.
strafe that attack.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to get the bonfire yet. I'm gonna heal here. You don't have to get the bonfire yet because we're gonna be coming all the way around. So. And maybe I should be embered right now actually, But yeah, so what you're going to do is cast Spook here. And you're going to run through here. Ember shouldn't matter, actually, but it might affect some of the fall damage you're going to be taking. There's an RTSR on the way setup that we're going to do.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to sprint off here. Go back.
As long as you don't get the little boost from the Herald you got yesterday.
Yeah, even if I do, it should be actually fine. But yeah, so what you're going to do is you're going to just kind of run through here. And you're going to jump off of this part right behind the Herald here. That's perfect. And you're going to dodge this attack.
He wasn't boosting today.
Yeah, we're going to keep going. You've got to roll this guy's attack.
Learning these guys' attacks is something everyone should get familiar with, too.
Yep. If you're going to do this strat, like, I think there is some branch strat that exists for this part, but...
Didn't you come up with that sword?
I did.
Branching down the Ring City streets.
I haven't done it in a while, actually. Because, like, once you just learn those guys' attacks, they're not that bad.
Yeah, so don't run into these guys' heads.
Yeah, watch out for all the heads.
That's my favorite. That's the best one. That's the best clip on this website.
Yep.
You get stuck and get shot with arrows in the back.
Yeah. One thing to note here is that he actually didn't aggro. Like, the Judicator didn't aggro at all. Normally he's going to, and you can just take this exact same path. And even if you're going to be getting shot at by archers, you're going to be walking perpendicular to them. And they're just not going to hit you, so... and then another thing, too, if he's aggroed, he's going to be summoning guys, like, all the way up to this point. And what you can do is just kind of run towards the bonfire here until he de-aggroes or something. In this case, it didn't matter because he didn't aggro at all, but, like, the best RNG is when he just doesn't aggro. Like, that's what you want. But he just kind of sandboxes around there, so there's no guarantee.
I had a blue,
just do that.
I had a blue snake follow me all the way to the bonfire.
Oh, like the dark attack?
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Oh, yeah, all the way up through that door. I couldn't believe it. Like, he spawned outside and it, like, went all the way to the bonfire. It's crazy.
Oh.
Okay, what we're going to do here is, like, some specific timing. So we're going to bait Midir to do the fire. And then what I like to do is run to behind this, like, patch of grass here. And then as soon as the fire goes past you, then you start jogging. So I'll show this... in this, I guess right now. So he's going to aggro. He's aggro. We go back to this patch of grass. And then as soon as he goes past, then you start jogging. And you need to make sure you have your skulls equipped. And right when we get there, it's going to be gone. So now we can start sprinting.
Yeah.
You're going to run before this rock. You're going to throw a skull out to the middle like that. And it's actually important to keep your camera on this guy so he doesn't teleport. Because he can teleport similar to a dog. And I actually shouldn't have spooked here probably, but it's probably fine. And now you're going to run and you're just going to dodge this fire here. And that's it. And yeah, I shouldn't have actually spooked there, so I could have set up RT-STAR, but it should be fine, because there's going to be some more drops in a second, so... Yeah, you can just run up here, throw a skull. For those guys, there's a guy up here as well.
Strange.
Just drop down. Yeah, so you're going to want to cast Spook for one of these falls, and I don't know if this is going to be quite RT-STAR. It probably should be.
This will be, yeah.
Yeah, and so, yeah. And now, there's also... This drop, it can be fall damage I think if you, like, sprint off it and get enough distance, it's fall damage. I honestly can't remember, but you could just spook for this.
Die.
Like, normally you're not going to spook for that middle of the bridge one, and then you would spook for these ones, so. I forget which one it is. It isn't. It's just jog. Yeah, if you jog, you don't. If you sprint, you do, because you, like, land on this part, so I don't know.
I see the jagged part sticking out. You can see that.
I used to use that for RTSR.
Huh.
I feel like he'd live either way.
Yeah, it'd be close. I think you would, though. By, like, 5 HP, probably. I forget what the minimum fall damage is in this game, but I think it's, like, around 50, maybe. Okay, we can use bundles here, I guess, or you can use a resin. It really doesn't matter. Actually, maybe we'll use a resin.
Insane Midir cycle right here, guys.
Yeah, this is a very fast Midir strat for literally any run. And it's even more useful the lower your damage gets. So, like, on an S1 upgrade, it's probably just the fastest way you can deal with him. So we're gonna run up the right side here. You can, like, bundle somewhere up this. And you're gonna attack his neck. And then you're gonna get back as soon as you can to just repeat bait this attack. You're gonna get your hits in. You just need to make sure to not walk into his head area while he's breathing fire, because he will clip you with some fire. And then this should actually be it.
Look at this. Oh, man.
Yeah, so that's probably the fastest way to deal with Midir on any run you do. You just kind of, don't get greedy. Get back to that sort of shadow. That's what I'm using as sort of my guide to, where I want to get to. Run the shadow here, and then he'll just repeatedly do that attack if you're fast enough. So
Good marker.
That is a good visual. Having visuals and audio cues for a lot of our strats is a lot of the time what we rely on as runners.
Absolutely.
So what do we got left? We got ODK, we got the tree, we got Halflight, which we're going to be showing, I think, 2 strats for Halflight, or at least the sword strat. We're not going to be using Dunpie.
Well, if I was running this right now personally, I wanted to go as consistent as possible, I would use the Dung Pie strat. Probably.
Oh, for sure. But you got to show the fancy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to show both, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what's nice is that, we've got RT Star set up for this DLC, right? So it's just like, that's why you might want to grab Red Tearstone Ring, because all these setups are right on the way, and they don't waste any time.
Mm-hmm.
So...
That's another one of those walls where you firebomb, because falling through the world, if you roll through it, is pretty likely. Relatively.
I've also had many displacements take place where when you throw a firebomb at that wall, your character moves about 2 meters in game to the left. It makes no sense. It's wild.
Yeah, and you don't quite clip through the wall, but you do move, and it's like, oh my god. Like, thank god I didn't clip through the wall.
It's weird.
You can use all bundles here if you want to. Like, a resident just kind of more... Like, look at our stamina bar. Like, I don't know. You can use whatever you want.
It doesn't even matter at this point.
Yeah. So 1 hit here. Like, this is a good opener. 1 hit. You just keep kind of spam them.
Nice.
Get
Every
all those hits
blade
in,
hit
and then
there.
you roll across this sideways. And now this will put you in a great position so that you can actually go for a little hit here. A cheeky hit.
That's a cheeky R1.
You can go for that, and then you can get your, spam here. And just look at this damage. It's absolutely wild damage on Midir. Pontiff's eyes like fully ramped up. You go for a little cheeky attack during this as well. That I didn't get the full
I didn't see that
on.
until recently.
It's
We're
phase
already
2.
in phase 2.
Ooh, look at that.
A little
Blades
short
hit
on
there.
stamina. I could have gone for an extra hit there probably.
He's toast.
So I don't
right
think
now.
I'm going to quite get
About
this.
on the edge of that ring.
Yeah. Roll that. Yeah, so
It
if I
was-
had gotten that extra hit in, which I could have gotten, he would have died anyways, but
Hardest boss in the game, by the way, everyone.
he should be dead.
The AoE's smaller than it looks, but about on the edge of that ring. Good
Yeah.
marker. Along with those visual cues.
Okay,
Cool.
and Midir is really, like, when you're that aggressive on him and, you're getting all those hits in, and Pontiff's Red Eye is just fully juiced up. Like, you
So
kill him so
juiced.
fast. Yeah. Okay, so normally, depending on what strat you're going to do, like, you just bone back to last rested and go do Halflight if you're going to do the combo strat. But I'm actually going to go pick up the excrement-covered ashes, which I mentioned earlier. And it's for this really, really easy strat. Well, I actually don't know which one's easier. It's probably safer, I guess, to do this strat on Halflight, but it's it's pretty precise. Like, you're gonna want to use probably like mouse and keyboard to line up what we're gonna do. But yeah, so we do need dung pies for this to work, so we're gonna go get the excrement covered ashes. And again, you wouldn't need to get this if you're gonna do the combo strat. Like, I should have in the notes that there's 2 options, which I do. There's 2 options in the notes. You can do the combo strat, which I'll show, and you can do the dung pie strat, which I'll also show. And if you're choosing to do the dung pie strat, you need to come get these ashes, basically. So
The poop ashes.
yeah, and so basically all you have to do here is you just run in and bone as soon as you pick them up. And it's kind of sketchy, and I'm not actually sure if this is 100% consistent. I've
not.
never gotten hit personally doing this, but
You can die.
oh
There
yeah,
it
that's
is.
so funny.
Oh, they're
There it
Okay,
is.
yeah, there you
yeah,
go.
and there it is. Like, I was gonna say it'd be so funny if I got if I got hit right as I say that.
But
the funnier part
yeah.
is that you boned in front of his face right after that and didn't get hit.
Yeah. Well, there is some branch strat.
you can branch.
believe
You
it.
go up
I
to the
honestly
next-
don't know
you go
how
up
it
to the
works.
next room. You go up to the next room. You wait for a little bit of a de-aggro from those spider crawly guys. You white branch down. You grab.
Okay, well there
you
it
go.
is. So yeah, you just white branch. That's probably the way to do this, actually.
Yeah, doing what Gino just did will work literally 99% of the time.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That is really funny.
Like the chances of that chat are like that's probably the second or third time I've ever seen that happen.
Yeah, it's never happened to me. I've only seen it happen to like one person before, but yeah. So I guess I would branch there probably after seeing that. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna buy 10 dung pies, and you could buy more. The only reason you would need more is if you mess up and you have to bone out. Basically, like if you miss a dung pie. You need all 10 of them on Halflight here. Do I have... Yeah, I guess... Okay, so yeah, we got our dung pies, and I'll show the combo strat first, and then I'll show the dung pie strat. They're both good. Dung pies are probably, like, a little bit more consistent, though, and a little bit more straightforward.
And safer.
Yeah, I would say it's safer, because you don't actually have to worry about, like... having proper spacing and timing, doing the combos and stuff like that on Halflight, because he's a pretty slippery boss, so...
Oh, he's a goon.
Combos flashier and more...
True. So, RTSR here, you're just going to hit the lever and you're just going to immediately roll. This should easily be RTSR. Pretty fast setup.
Did you get extra damage from rolling over the lever there, or did you just...
I believe you do, actually, yeah. I think, maybe.
Well, no, I know you do. I just wasn't sure if you did. I couldn't.
Oh, I probably did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's a branch you can use here as well, and this one I'm fairly confident I'm not gonna get hit like while picking up the Xanth or the Extraman ashes, but you can branch past this guy as well. But running like this is like I've never seen anybody get hit while doing this. Like you just run to the door and you just hit the door. If you run out like that, actually, it makes the dialogue go way faster. But yeah, I actually find not looking back at him makes him attack less often here. Like you see, he just de-aggroed there. So, like
Very
this
rare.
I'm like 100%. I'm fairly certain that's safe to do every time. But okay, let's show the combo strat first. This is like the flashy strat that is maybe a bit riskier. But it's a great strat, honestly. Like it's really cool. It's a really cool way to deal with Halflight.
You also won't have to pick up the ashes too, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
You want to cut out that part. Just go straight from.
But yeah, this strat is definitely more precise. So we're gonna have to get a very well-timed backstab grab on this painting guardian here. Which you'll see in a second. But the timing I use for this is actually when, like, this guardian has, like, a ponytail. When it starts swinging back to the right is when I go for it. And you'll see what I mean in a second.
It's like a pendulum.
Yeah, exactly. When it goes to the right.
I use that and the little summon sounds.
Just go back
2
up
back
a bit.
steps.
Always will go into this, and then you can just do an L1, L2, L1 combo to finish off. Then we're going to buff here. If we get lucky, we're going to be able to get in our damage setup we need here. And so we didn't get lucky. Halflight rolled away.
He's slippery, dude.
He's very slippery,
insane.
yeah. So we're just going to wait until we can get that rough 1100 damage off here. Probably wait until we get... There's going to be orbs in a few seconds here. Okay, so now we're going to try to get that damage off, so... Should be good. Actually, didn't mean to do that. But yeah, I mean, I guess that works. Like, you just want to get, like I said, roughly 1100. Then we should be able to go in here. And we'll see the Gravetender combo. Just like that.
Easy.
So, one thing I'll note, like, you may have noticed, when Halflight went into stance, I kind of walked backwards a little bit. That's actually a bait for Halflight to do the weapon art attack, which is the one we want to go in on, right? So, if you watch it over again, you'll see, like, Halflight goes into stance. I'll actually start walking backwards slightly and then immediately go back in and strafe to the left. And, and that's how you can do that. Yeah, and that's how you can do that, like, really quickly, really consistently. It just... Twin Blades don't have a ton of range, so you need to make sure that you're, like, you're not going to whiff your attack, because if you whiff, you're probably just dead in most cases.
There is a true combo here, too. It's L1... What is it? L1, L2, R2, L1?
Yeah, that's not a good... It's not as good as this.
You get...
No. But
you
he
get
can
a lot of
escape
half hits
combo.
on it, and it does less damage. It won't work for this.
But he can... Halflight can escape this.
It's possible,
Make sure...
Yeah, I think it's only, like, honestly, it's super rare, but I think I've only seen it when Halflight has his shield out. I'm pretty sure I've only seen it, like, that could be wrong. But that's the only times I've actually seen Halflight get out of it. Yeah.
Anyway, let's do Dung Pie.
Yeah, so I'm going to show the Dung Pie here. I'm not actually sure if this armor is enough resistance. Like, if you're going to have RTSR here for this, you're going to want to make sure that you're not getting Toxic procced on you.
The armor that you want is right after Dancer in the chest
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Lothric.
Yeah, that armor is really good Toxic resist, so... But what you're going to do, I am using keyboard right now. You're going to come to this spot. It's been a while since I've done this, actually, but you're basically just going to line up. Like, you have literally all day to do this. But yeah, you just got to wait for this dialogue. And so how this strat works is, I was actually going to make a video on, like, the Halflight strats, but, like, there's a number of ways you can abuse how this works. But because when these enemies are spawning in, like Halflight and the clones, or not the clones, the Guardians, because we don't have a like direct kind of line of sight, like this pillar is blocking the Guardian's view of me, basically.
The base of it is what the pillar
Yeah,
is.
like the collision on this
pillar.
thing, like, yeah. And so that's why the Guardian's not aggroed right now, basically, so... But yeah, so what we're going to do here is try to line up our position so that we're just on the outside when we're throwing Dung Pies and pretty far back here. So this is probably good. Like I could maybe go a bit more to the right. But yeah, what you're going to do, and this is why keyboard is so good for this, is you're going to throw 5 Dung Pies here. And you want to throw them in a specific order. So you're going to do 3, you're going to back up, reposition, and then throw 2. And you have to be fairly fast to do this. And if you miss even 1 Dung Pie, you have to reset the fight, basically, because you need all 5 to proc. And then you need to do this 2 times. So people might be familiar with the Storyteller staff strat, and it's basically the same, but it's just this is like a more precise version of it where you don't have to farm Storyteller. So yeah, we're going to aim about here. We're going to throw 3, and you can see these are hitting. And I think we actually do have enough resistance. We're going to walk straight back, and then we're going to throw 2 more, making sure to not go too slow. And there it is.
Nice. And now we just wait.
You just wait.
And then repeat.
Exactly. I want to try to speed up my game up, but I'm not going to bother.
I was gonna say, can you like speed this up?
I actually might. Well, I might just accidentally tab in. Let me try it. If it doesn't work, I'll just do the combo again. But this is the idea of it. Let's see. Is this working?
Yep.
Yeah. Speed.
Wonder if,
Oh.
I think we're missing out on ticks here, probably. I'm on 50x speed here.
He's like, make haste. That's like super fast.
I love how the second Guardian spawns inside the first Guardian.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Okay, so this should be around the damage there. I think it's 2250. There it is.
Yeah, we're chilling.
Okay, now the hard part is tabbing back into this game without accidentally
Don't
attacking
attack.
or something.
Oh,
okay, there it is.
there it is. Okay.
Except my mouse is outside of the game.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh no.
It's all over.
It's probably
chat.
fine.
No, you're just
Okay,
gonna
anyways.
cast spook.
Don't alt tab when you're doing this. Don't accidentally aggro them. But if you mess up, you know, have bones ready. Like if you accidentally like walk too far here when you're throwing them or whatever, just have your bones ready and just bone out. It should be totally fine. But yeah, and then you just do it again. So 3, back up, and then 2.
And that's a GG.
And yeah, you can actually use the Toxic to set up your RTSR as well. If you didn't set it up earlier, I guess. Like you can like wait.
That's a good point.
Like you can take off some armor on the second like volley, I guess, and then use the Blooming Moss Clump to set it up. If you want to.
Run in and attack him. You won't.
Yeah, you're definitely right. I won't.
Do it.
No.
Come on. Spice it up. Do it now. Ah!
Yeah, so those are the 2 strats for Halflight on this run. There's also some like parry strats you can do. I would probably choose between one of these 2, but the parry strats are good as well if you want to do that. So there are some videos on that, I believe.
I think there's a 3 parry you can do with. I don't know how much dex you need for Twin Blades though, but if you do a parry strat, the typical way to do it is with a like a fire or a dark infused dagger. But you would have had to pick up the Dragon Chaser's Ashes so that you can get your upgrade materials for a +10.
Yeah, true.
As well as a fire or a deep gem.
And this is Gael.
Yeah, Gael is pretty straightforward. We have the choice of using poison in phase 1. I'm going to.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure.
Yeah, it's not bad to use. Like, I don't know. I think just using lightning is probably just straight up faster, but it could be nice for phase 2 if you're not playing as aggressive. That the poison will kind of just tick him down if you're like scared of the crossbow or something.
What you can do is you can even do some damage and then apply the poison late in phase 1 so that you get more proc in phase 2.
Like applying the poison when he does the jump back instead of applying the lightning.
Exactly.
It's not a bad idea.
You can also get an L1 in there at the start of every fight safely. No matter what opener he gives you.
He staggers in 5 L1s with twin blades.
So you can see
Well,
Gino
you keep
strafed
Cinder
a
up.
bit there. That's just to conserve stamina.
Yeah, it was kind of an awkward position because of the... I was just a bit worried about the terrain there, but...
We got poison proc.
Yep. You can be
He
super
wants to-
aggressive on
so he'll
Gale,
do-
by the way.
Yeah, he wants
He'll
to
do a
switch to
jump back in a
gold.
second. Right here. He
There
does
it
that
is.
like halfway through phase 1 all the time. He did it a little bit late just because of how fast Gino's applying damage. But typically when he does the jump back is a good time to apply
Budding
the
Blossom.
second buff.
Yeah, Blossom's nice here because it's good to be aggressive, I would say, in this phase. Just watch out for the... So, like, yeah, you want to normally roll that to the side and bait out a combo that we'll probably get. But yeah, you just need to watch out for the crossbow. That's like the one thing you're looking out for.
Biggest hazard of phase 2.
But yeah, you want to outspace that, and then a lot of time he's going to follow it up with... oh boy. I guess I'm doing this. Okay, don't do that.
Really good.
Don't do that. Definitely do not fucking do that.
No, it's consistent. CBD does that on his runs. He's insane.
It's not
You're that close.
good enough, to be
I
honest.
know.
Like,
I know it's not. I tell him. He doesn't care, though.
yeah, it's... You can get messed up while doing that sometimes. Definitely
I feel like I would do it
recommend
from that position, but it'd be situational.
Yeah. You could strafe this too.
The first one
I'd like
that
to
was
just get into a better
unsuspected.
position.
You can
Yeah,
apply
so
a
there's
lot
the
of
full
punish
bait.
to Gale if you strafe the stabs in the defense.
Nice
a lot
strafe
of punish
there.
on him.
Nice roll. Didn't get the follow up.
Yeah, no follow up.
Always roll against his cape. In most bosses in the game, your roll timing is really the only thing that's important. In this fight, both roll timing and roll position are important.
Direction.
You always want to
roll
go.
direction.
You always want to go against. Yeah, direction. You always want to go against it,
It's true. That's
especially
actually
without
true.
blood ring.
That's Gale. So now that's all the bosses other than
in the
Tree
free
and
ones,
ODK.
basically. Yeah. ODK and Greatwood. So yeah, that was kind of an example of a decently aggressive Gale fight. And it's you know, it's good to be aggressive in this fight, I would say, but you just like in the second phase, I kind of have some like bad muscle memory for no hit of going under the arrows and the crossbow like that. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Like I would always just be a little bit on the safer side for the crossbow, because you know you want to do what I did on the first instance of the crossbow normally, just to like make sure you're not getting clipped in the head or something. Yeah, let's go to ODK. Last two bosses, and by this point, when you kill Gael, if you're doing this boss order, and you know, like we said earlier, you can like once you're past kind of princes and get your +10, you can do any of these bosses like in any order that you want to. But if you're gonna do ODK and Greatwood last, it's kind of just like a nice chill way to end the run without anything like crazy, because these bosses are quite free.
Yeah,
Actually,
ODK is going to go down pretty quick, I think.
You set up RTSR on this bridge.
I'm gonna, but you might be able to do this drop actually, maybe not. But yeah, you can set up RTSR like knocking down this. I kind of want to try this. I don't know if it actually works with this amount of decks. I think you need a lot more, but
I went to the when I did all base game bosses. I fell from the bridge as I was like collapsing it. I went from like I think third like major plank down or something.
yeah, I
it
guess
works.
you can set up RTSR for this. I guess you might as
You
well.
can also take a little.
Yeah,
You can take a little extra damage off this fall too.
that's a good point actually. Yeah.
I would actually look at my damage after I came off the bridge, because sometimes I wouldn't quite be an RTSR and I would do that. Other times I would come a little closer to death than this, and I would not want to take that drop at all. Kind of like how you just went to the staircase.
Yeah.
So are you going to showcase the line that we take over here? Yeah. Like the the tree over. Just
Oh,
straight
yeah, yeah.
line, no roll. Yeah, okay. This is an exceptional way to do lake. Everyone should do lake this way, in my opinion.
Well, I think we're thinking the same thing. But yeah, basically you just dodge those and you just gun it through here. That's kind of it. If that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, no. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I do it a little safer than this, but same premise, same line. You don't have to roll at all when you do it my way. But basically, you can just stand behind that tree, and on the second shot, you just gun it, just like the exact same line you just saw there.
Hey, interesting.
The amount of stamina here definitely is different too.
Yeah, I had to come up
If
with
you're
it for
doing
fat
it-
roll.
If you're doing with
Sorry.
SL, if you're doing SL1 or something, you might want to wait behind the tree a little bit.
I believe when you run
Recharge
up
your
the
stamina
right side of
just
this.
amount.
Oh, I guess you can get hit. Okay. I guess it's probably just like look back and make sure that, you know.
I always bait out the third arrow before I run up.
Yeah.
And this is ODK.
Yeah, so there's only one thing you have to worry about on this fight, and it's the staggers on the transition, because he can kind of like land on you almost or step on you. So like what I normally like to do is go for the tail. Maybe I'll try to show him landing on me or something, but you just kind of go behind him. I think I whiffed a hit there. Our damage is so high. You just, you know.
He could have done something else than that attack, but
Yeah,
whatever.
true.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, when he goes into phase 2 and does the little step forward, he'll often do it then.
I'm going to try to get staggered to show what it is, but it's like you do have to be
Pretty
careful.
easy to
Yeah.
get staggered. Like it's not hard, dude. It's easy to. It happens a lot if you're not
Yes,
careful.
yeah. It's the whole point of going to the tail. Oh, is he going to be active here?
No, I made a save there.
Being anywhere like near like
Near his knees,
butt.
I find.
knee in his butt.
I think you got to be more in front of him. It's I find it actually like harder to do, but
I find it happens to me when I'm on his butt, like kind of like
Really?
dancers. Yeah,
Huh.
that's where I get it a lot.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I've noticed the same thing.
yeah, basically you just don't want to be under him, I guess, is kind of the bottom
Right.
line. Like,
Go to the tail. You're good.
yeah, exactly. I do want to show this though.
I'm assuming it's gonna happen right here. If you go on
Why? He's not.
He
He's
found
not
like the
getting
perfect
with it,
spot
dude.
to not have it happen.
Oh my god.
Oh, I hate that
Ooh.
attack so much.
But yeah, obviously this wouldn't normally be happening. I'm having a hard time somehow getting staggered, but
dying.
It's always when you're
but
going
just
to
know
show
it's
it.
possible.
I think you had an old guide where you were talking. It was pre-dungeon skip era when you were talking about dropping down where the giant is, and you were talking about being careful not to aggro him, and you were trying to land on him. And I think like the same thing was happening.
Yeah, like I just couldn't do it. Yeah. Let me try going on his other side. I think when I've seen it, it's on the other side of him. I don't know.
Try the leg. That's where it
Maybe-
happens for me.
Yeah. Just gonna try going right underneath him, and we should see it. I'd imagine. I just can't get it. But anyways, like he's gonna stagger you. Just don't even mess with it. Like just go to his tail, basically. Like I try to show it, and it's probably maybe it only happens when you're at 0 hits. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably just a 0 hit situation. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go check this tree out, and that'll be every boss.
Yep. Hopefully.
I'm gonna use that 648k on some vigor real quick.
I'll on firebombs because I have horrible free aims and I'm gonna miss all these guys. Yeah, the idea here is these firebombs that we bought earlier, we're gonna just use them to we're gonna kill all the hollows around. Like, I would say to do this, especially since if you're gonna do him as the last boss in the run for sure. But like you can, I guess, technically use skulls here.
You do whatever you want.
And do that, but I would just firebomb. Like, get your mouse and keyboard up and start free
It's
aiming
the
them.
safe way to do it, yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna one-shot the this guy.
No, probably not. I doubt it.
Oh,
That's
What?
the tankiest one for sure.
Yeah, half. 2's still good though. Insane accuracy. Who is this guy?
Yeah, and then you just come in here. I guess like you can use any buff. You don't even need a buff probably, but
You definitely
No.
don't buff.
yeah, you just like
It's gonna be like 2-1-1
Yeah, literally
or no
one hit on
1-1-1.
the main
Okay,
side.
1-1-1.
It's the 111 chat. The new Alothic area code.
It's hard to remember
111.
Forget about 5-1-2. It's 1-1-1.
Yeah, it's all 111. Oh, we got the insane left slam down attack right there.
yeah. So
that
just
was
like yeah, stand kind of far away there, and then when he does this, go back in.
What was that hand slam attack he did? That was insane.
No, he just does that. It's just a hand slam. He
I've
does.
never even seen that. Look at that.
He was so confused by the damage being applied to him that he just
That was awesome.
Yeah, there you
Anything
go.
else?
That's
Sick.
the whole run. Like this is a great route. I wish I had this route when I was doing all boss for the first time.
I
Would've been
definitely
so
agree.
nice.
I would do this route over any route out there
Yep.
as of right now because this route's 100% safe and it gets rid of so much like scary things early and like DLC one running sections,
Yeah, for
for
sure.
example. You know,
There was a lot of
And-
stopping and explanation too.
Yeah, exactly.
But when we did a test run of it yesterday, and it ended at 219, and that was still with a little bit of figuring things out. And
oh, you
repetition.
could definitely sub 2 with this if you're going.
I think well maybe sub
Not
2
to
might be
cut some
tough,
things.
but I definitely think this is probably like a 2 to 210 run. Right, so
Mhm.
decently fast.
Yeah, I'd say
like,
210.
yeah, somewhere around
Yeah.
there. Like depending on how fast you're playing, it could definitely be like a really low 2 hour though.
Yeah,
this
it
route.
could be.
So yeah, sweet route. Like this is really nice. It's a good balance, I think, of being efficient but not going like crazy fast. And like there's routes where you do like +5 Oceiros up to +5 princes and stuff. But this kind of finds a nice middle ground where you're getting a +8, but you're not wasting that much time.
If
Like,
any,
in getting
like,
it?
really.
So yeah, this is a really
Really
good route to follow. But yeah, that's all we got for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was really fun to do. This is a sick route. If anyone's interested in running all bosses, like there hasn't been an updated all bosses guide that's been done in years. Like
Yeah,
a lot of
really
people have been
though.
requesting this sort of thing. So
And then that's another point I wanted to make is in the future we're going to be doing not Gino and myself and Geo, but other people in the community are going to be doing fast guides for their respected games as well.
Yep.
And even more in the future, we're planning on doing I guess you could call it I'm going to be calling it kind of like the Hitless the encyclopedia, kind of like the pickups and strats of every single section done in like split up videos. But that's down the road. But that's something to look forward to.
yeah, it's gonna be really cool. I just realized I didn't have music playing this whole time.
Well, I mean, who needs
Not that it
dude?
really
Oh, no.
matters because like the VOD wouldn't have had music anyways, but that is pretty funny. There was supposed to be music playing that whole time, but thank you Spotify, the inferior
You guys can just pretend you were listening to music.
audio software, dude.
People were probably just listening to their own stuff anyway.